It's Roc and Manuch with Jimmy B. Now on ESPN 620, 98.7 FM HD-2, and streaming live at ArizonaSports.com. The guys are powered by the law offices of Lerner and Rowe. In a wreck and need a check? Make one call, that's all. 602-977-1900. And now on your ESPN station in Phoenix, ESPN 620, Roc and Manuch with Jimmy B.
Well, the A's dispose of the Diamondbacks last night. Nolan Arenado goes into the record books. Hey, Drake is going to make an appearance at the stadium tonight. Can't wait for that. And it's crickets from the Cardinals when it comes to quarterback Jacoby Brissett. Welcome in, everybody. Roc and Manuch with Jimmy B. ESPN 620, 98.7 FM HD2. Also on the Arizona Sports app as we roll all the way until 4 o'clock this afternoon. Laz, a quick question for you before we get the show underway. I mean, you got to be just stoked right now that Drake is going to be at the stadium tonight.
It's the GOAT, baby. Drake the GOAT. You listen to that?
Drake the GOAT.
Drake the GOAT. All I know
Drake,
is he's from
the greatest
Toronto,
of all
Canada.
time.
And there's like 90 songs that he's come out with, which I'm sure if we heard him, we'd be very familiar with him.
You'd be surprised. I bet there is a few that you wouldn't think you know that you
Jimmy
really do.
being very creative with a young man on the bump tonight for the Diamondbacks. Never heard of him. Laz, maybe you can enlighten us. Cole Drake on the bump.
Who the hell is
It's
Cole
Drake
Drake?
from Toronto. It's him.
Yeah, what's it?
He can rap and he can pitch, guys.
It's another appearance. It's another sideline that he's going to be on. He was just at all those NBA sidelines for just about every year. Cole Drake, Laz, enlighten us. Who the hell is Cole Drake?
Maybe it's our very own Tyler Drake's brother that we didn't know existed.
Okay. We'll catch up with Tyler Drake.
I'm going to do some research, and we're going to find all the little fun facts and information about this kid and his life. And
Let
we'll
me know
dive
if he's
through it
got
the
a
whole
hit
show.
song.
How about this? Another lefty starting for the Diamondbacks. Say it ain't so, especially when you had the Athletics beat, as you mentioned, the Diamondbacks 5-2. 15 hits off this Diamondback staff by the Sacramento Athletics.
No, just the A's.
Yeah. Matter of fact, being in Vegas this last week, and we're in the lift. We're going by the stadium. By the way, the stadium there's about halfway built.
Yeah, it's going to be great.
And he's like, yeah, the A's will be here soon. I think the 28th season is when they'll be in here if they have a 2027 season. But the stadium should be ready. So they're already acknowledging that they had the A's. We're excited. It's at the end of the strip, toward the more scruffle-upless end of the strip.
Then that's a good spot for it because then everything will get built up around it.
Well, that's exactly right. There's so much destruction or demolition going on right now.
Yeah.
A lot of building around it. And the other thing, too, is that they're bound and determined that they're going to get an NBA team there. They're like, yeah, when we get our NBA team, I said, wait a second. I said, there's 3 bids out there for Seattle, Las Vegas here, if we were there, and maybe one other city. And they're like, oh, no, we got this bad boy. I said, you got the Las Vegas Jacks and Jerry Colangelo's group of an $8 billion bid with a stadium on top of the guys. Oh, yeah, done deal. I said, who's your source? Yeah. Give me some scoop here.
Yeah, come on.
So they got the A's coming there. They've got they've got the Lightning there. They've got the Raiders there. They're resolved. They're going to be
Golden Knights.
Golden Knights. Sorry,
that's all right.
They are resolved that they're going to be a 4-pro team, if not 5.
Wow.
With MLS could be on the horizon as well.
Wow.
A little breaking news there for you, Las Vegas, Jimmy B.
Wow.
So,
I
guys,
can see
Cole Drake,
MLS going there. What's that? Yeah.
Going back to our new friend, Cole Drake.
Yes, yeah.
Just like our other friend from yesterday, Mitch Bratt, he was also traded to the D-backs in the Merrill Kelly trade. But this guy is 6'5", 220, and he throws from the left side, which MLB scouts are fond of that.
Sure,
yeah.
He went to Arkansas Tech University and was drafted in the 11th round from Walters State Community College. Never heard of it.
Well, I know where Arkansas Tech is.
Well, they call that Wally State JUCO. That's what they call that bad boy. Wally State JUCO. Well, hey, another lefty, another starter. If this young man can give him 3 or 4 innings, and I guess if you're going to have a start, why not start versus the A's?
Why not?
You know, give him take the floaties off, throw him in the deep end. I'm sure Torey Lovello will not allow him to sink. He might help him find the side of the pool, but hopefully they can get the floaties off and he can start swimming down the stream, and this Diamondback team can win 2 out of 3 before they hit the road.
The situation with the A's and Diamondbacks, I think a lot of people thought after the D-backs had such great success against your Cardinals that it was just going to automatically carry over. That has not been the case.
You would think, right?
But it has not been the case. And we have had discussions about when you play so-called weaker teams that you just cannot get off the bus. The A's have hitters. Their pitching is reasonably poor, but they do have hitters. And you just talked about how many hits? 15.
15 hits. And how about Jay Springs, who started for the A's? His ERA coming into that game?
Let me guess. 610.
Well, I was close.
Okay.
Yeah, it was about 5.96 before
close.
they came into that game.
Yeah.
The D-backs only get 6 hits off him and only get 2 earned runs. He had the 2 Ks. This thing could have got close, and then Ginkel comes in, gives up 4 hits, 3 runs. One's a wild pitch, which they scored on. All of a sudden, it's 5-2. And then this bullpen of Medina, Suarez, and Harris shut him down. Nothing. But to your point, you know, Roc and I talked about this yesterday. They're major league hitters.
Yeah.
No matter how bad teams play, they play. You've got guys that are major league hitters, guys that have been there and done that. And I think of McNeil, who came in as a pitch hitter. He was one of the top players for the Mets just a few short years ago, if I recollect. He's up for MVP. I mean, he comes in and pitch hits and gets a 2-run base, a 1-run knock, a single, and brings in 2 right there at that point. 4-2. Then you got a wild pitch by Ginkel. All of a sudden, it's 5-2. So there is some talent on this team.
Oh, yeah.
Even though the A's have lost, 32 out of the last 33 games, give or take, something like that. Some astrological number.
I don't think it's quite that bad,
Well,
but I got the reasoning.
It's pretty close. You feel my drift on that one there.
Yeah.
So it's just unfortunate, and hopefully they
It's
bounce
not
back.
unfortunate. It was just a bad game.
It's a bad game.
That's all you can say. You have to take the good with the bad. They were real good against St. Louis, and so far they've been just so mediocre against the A's.
And then after tomorrow, they do the makeup game on Thursday in St. Louis.
Right.
The good thing about the Cardinals, they've won the head-to-head. They'll be 1 game ahead of the Cardinals in head-to-head. They won't play them the rest of the season. Then you got to go take on Pittsburgh. And then you got to go take on the Nationals. The Guardians, who are still trying to get that first position in the American League East, will be up in
Central.
I mean. And then you got, coming back, you got to take 4 on with the Padres. Now, everybody aside from the Guardians are in that 3rd spot for the wild card. So you're going to be going head-to-head for the next 2.5 weeks. And then after the Padres, you got the Dodgers for 3 in town. So you got the flip of what we had before the All-Star break. So when they come back from this road trip, they'll have the Padres for 4 and the Dodgers for 3, 7 games at home, which will affect that 3rd spot in the wild card. A lot of meaningful baseball.
There is. I want to see what happens tonight. You have Drake on the mound with no microphone, so he's not going to be rapping. He's going to be pitching. And we'll see how well that works. If they get to him early, what do you do, Manuch? I mean, you got to go to the pen.
I got to imagine that.
Yeah, I know, but who's going to throw?
I think if they'll give him a heads up, whatever the long relievers are that they have out there, I think that Torey Lovullo, they're just a half game back.
There's got to be a short leash.
Yeah, but I would think so. But if he can hold his own for 4 innings.
Okay.
I mean, look at when Bratt came up, he went, 4 or 5?
He did.
When Cabrera came up, he went, 3.5 to 4? So here these young guys come up. If they can give them 4, 5 innings, get some run support, give him a little bit of a lead, and allow him to go out there and pitch, not overdo it, then that'll be fine. Then I think that Torey Lovullo has got to know, hey, bullpen, heads up. Got the young guy coming in, and we're going to allow him to pitch, but just a heads up. And so for long relievers and those that may have to go maybe 1 or 2 innings, just make sure that you're ready to go for tonight's ball game.
Did you know your boy Arenado was that close to making the record books?
Oh, absolutely.
Okay.
Yeah, I think about 2 weeks ago, when they dropped him to the 7-hole, they had talked about how this affects him trying to get to the 2,000th hit. Well, lo and behold, they drop him in the 7 hole, the 7 spot in the batting order.
Yeah.
And what, he get 14, 15 hits over the last 2.5 weeks. He's hitting more home runs in the 7th spot. He was 1 for 4. The other was on Sunday before he hit the 2-run home run on his 4th at bat to tie the game up against the St. Louis Cardinals. And then he gets that base hit last night. So yeah, it's been in the works. When he got to about 1,990, they've been talking about it.
Yeah.
So nice to see him out of, I guess, the bittersweetness of all of it was him getting the base hit, getting number 2,000, which I think assures him as one of those top candidates for going in the Hall of Fame as a third baseman with his Golden Glove, 2,000 hits, and being one of those guys I would think would be under heavy consideration.
I'm sure he'll be considered, but I'm not so sure I would.
He may not be a first ballot guy.
Yeah.
But his home runs, base hits, the Golden Gloves year in and year out, I feel will carry him eventually.
Well, that's because you're a fan of the Cardinals where he played.
No, I'm a fan of Nolan Arenado.
Okay.
I mean, since
fine.
The Rockies, the Cardinals.
Okay.
And now here, he's just been steady Eddie. So, I don't know, we get Barry Bloom on, who's a voting member.
He is,
for the Hall of Fame. We'll get his thoughts on where Nolan Arenado would finish if 2 or 3 years he decides to retire.
All right. Hey, we're coming up here with Replay Rewind. Yep, we've got a lot of good stuff lined up for you. We are just getting started. It's Roc and Manuch with Jimmy B, ESPN 620.
Let me remind you, Thursdays are where the weekend starts at Twin Peaks Restaurant. Grab an ice-cold Bud Light or a refreshing Michelob Ultra and catch wall-to-wall sports on massive TVs everywhere you look. Big games, cold beer, made from scratch food. Start your weekend early with Bud Light and Michelob Ultra. Thursdays at Twin Peaks. Eats, drinks, and scenic views.
I was in a wreck. I need a check.
I was in a wreck. I need a check.
I was in a wreck. I need a check.
I'm attorney Kevin Rowe. The insurance company's job is to pay you as little as possible. Our job is to get you every dollar you deserve. Call Rowe and Rowe today and let's make them pay. Call 977-1900.
When it comes to your roof, you don't want to mess around. And Arizona homeowners and business owners have known that for over a decade. State 48 Roofing is Arizona's #1 referred roofer. Residential, commercial, they do it all. And they've been doing it right here in the Valley for over 10 years. Protect your home, protect your business. And hey, keep your roof sexy with State 48 Roofing. Visit state48roofing.com or call 480-268-4509. State 48 Roofing, Arizona's most trusted roof. Game on Peoria. When it's time to eat big, drink cold, and watch every play, make it Big's American Bar and Grill in the P83 district. Big's is serving up huge portions of your favorites. Burgers, wings, nachos, plus a full bar and TVs everywhere you look. And don't miss happy hour Monday through Thursday, 3 to 6:30 p.m. with $2 off well drinks and $2 off domestic drafts, plus daily specials all week long. Bring your friends, grab a seat on the patio, and settle in for the game. Big's American Bar and Grill, where Peoria comes to play, eat, and watch.
It's heating up across Arizona. Make sure you know the signs of heat stress, cramps, rashes, exhaustion, dizziness. Working in high temperatures can be dangerous. It can lead to an altered mental state, damage your organs, and even cause death. Protect yourself. Get plenty of water, rest, and shade during the day. Learn more from the Industrial Commission of Arizona. Visit azica.gov/heat. This message is sponsored by the Industrial Commission of Arizona.
Cats are masters at using up their 9 lives, like chasing laser pointers into walls or jumping onto high shelves. But the one thing cats never do, text while driving. So be like a cat and protect your one and only life. Don't text and drive.
Don't drive distracted. A message brought to you by the National Highway Traffic Safety Administration, Project Yellow Light, and the Ad Council.
Now it's time for our replay rewind. The top sounds of the night and whatever Roc decides to add. Let's get to it in Replay Rewind with Roc and Manuch with Jimmy B on ESPN 620 and on FM at 98.7 HD2.
Hey, everybody, welcome back in. We roll all the way till 4 o'clock today. It's Roc and Manuch with Jimmy B. Baseball at the Yard again tonight. A's matched up against the D-backs. Last night, a A's victory. And you're right, Manuch, it is hard for me not to say Oakland. It really is.
Just that we've known it for so many years.
I know. I used to cover their games.
I can't even say Sacramento A's.
No.
The Sacramento A's is sacrilegious for me, Jimmy.
Just turn his microphone off, will you?
Couldn't resist last.
Yeah.
You know, the brilliance that comes to mind.
Oh, my gosh.
I got to use it if it comes to mind,
Okay.
Jimmy B.
Oh, man. Okay, so last night, let's get to some of the game highlights in our replay rewind. We will pick it up in the top of the 5th inning.
And his first pitch, Wilson swings and sends a high, deep drive to left. He knew he got all of that one, and he savored every second of it. Home run Wilson. It's his 6th of the year, and the A's double up on the lead. It's 2-0.
So all of these highlights courtesy, thank you, of our sister station, 98.7. So, Manuch, did you hear what he said? It's his 6th of the year. In other words, he is a light-hitting home run hitter, and you served up a meatball.
Well, he's a good hitter, though. Wilson's a good hitter. He was a shortstop for them. He's solid. He's hitting about 292, Jimmy.
Yeah, but he's not a home run guy.
No, he's not. But these guys, it just goes to show you his 6th of the year. These guys got some pop in their bat. And as I said earlier, if a major league pitcher makes a major league mistake, you have a major league hitter that'll take advantage of that major league mistake and make it a major league home run.
He did.
So he definitely did. And that's one of the things when you look at this A's ball club. There's a few good, solid players on this team. And again, if you make that mistake over the plate, if you're a young pitcher, and Brad is a young pitcher, if you make that mistake or don't execute that pitch, that ball is going the other way very, very far.
Let's get then to the tying runs that come here in the bottom of the 6th inning.
Runner at second, nobody out. This is a big pitch for Springs. That is 2-1 to Cattell. Swung on and crushed. Crushed deep to left, and this game is tied. Never a doubt off the bat. It's his 18th of the year. And when you need it, he's got it. A 2-run shot to square us up at 2.
You know, you're not kidding. As soon as it left the bat, you knew it was history. It was in the seats.
Marte just seems very, very comfortable.
Yeah.
For the last month. Now, there's a few swings like the other night. He had a couple bad swings at the end of the game. And I missed the last pitch of the game. Was it Saturday night? We didn't challenge
Oh,
it.
he didn't challenge, yeah.
But, I mean, Ketel Marte seems to be in the groove, even though his batting average is only 258. But, you know, his slugging percentage is still 461. I mean, he still can carry it a long way. And then there's a guy, and Ketel Marte, if there's a mistake to be made, he'll definitely take advantage of it. But the other thing is, too, pitchers are starting to be alert is where he likes to swing out of the zone.
Yeah.
And when he's not chasing pitches, that's when we see the progress of Ketel Marte at the plate.
Here is Nolan Arenado with his 2000th career base hit.
The 2-2. Swung on, ripped to left. That's fair. It rolls into the corner. Arenado digs for second. And that's career hit number 2,000 for one of the greatest third basemen the game's ever seen.
That's really a terrific honor. During the commercial break, Manuch and I bantering back and forth on Arenado. 6 players with those numbers. That's it.
Yeah,
6 players.
If you look at that, I mean, he joins the exclusive club is Ken Griffey Jr., Willie Mays, Mike Schmidt, Johnny Bench, and Al Kaline. At least 2,000 hits with 350 career home runs, and he's also got 10 gold gloves.
Yeah,
so I'm pretty sure
amazing.
He will be a Hall of Famer.
All right, here's the skipper after the game talking about how they couldn't get any big hit other than what Marte did.
This is a little bit of a frustrating game for us. We had the big home run by Marte, ended up tying the score, and then went into some usable relievers that we felt like were going to control the game. Unfortunately, Kevin, who's been throwing the ball extremely well, got a little nicked up, and then we were really up against it, and we kept fighting and battling, and the guys did everything they could, but offensively we just couldn't get anything going. Couldn't get that big hit. We couldn't get that big momentum swing. I felt like after Nolan, Huge congratulations to him on his 2000th hit. That was awesome to be a part of that. He hits that ball down the left field line, gave us a little bit of energy. Marte clubs that big 2-run home run. And then we couldn't capitalize once there was a ton of energy inside the building. And that's the name of the game. And the tide totally swayed when they got the base hit from McNeil. Had a tough time absorbing that. And then we kept building a little bit of momentum and had nothing to show for it.
So that's obviously what took place last night in the game, a 5-2 loss.
Yeah, Ginkel did get scuffed up. He gets 3 walks. He has 1 wild pitch. You just heard Torrey talk about McNeil coming in, pinch hitter, knocking in the 2 runs. He gets all the way around the bases. Next thing you know, another couple walks, wild pitch. All of a sudden, 4-2, manageable to come back, but it gets 5-2. And you're thinking, well, I wonder if the Diamondbacks have 2 games back-to-back. They can come back. You think of Sunday's game, down 7. They come back and miraculously go ahead and win that game. But could they do it back-to-back games, but not, as this bullpen for the A's pretty much shut the Diamondbacks down, but very frustrating to have that and to see Ginkel get scuffed up. The wild pitch, you cannot do that.
Yeah.
And for Gabby Moreno to block that ball hit in front of the plate and just took a high hop behind him. Matter of fact, that sucker almost went as high to the top of the backstop. Mm-hmm. So you had a runner score at third. You had McNeil go from first to third. I mean, he went from first to third.
Yeah.
And
he's got speed.
He's got some speed. He's an outstanding player. And to see a guy like him come off the bench talks about some of the young talent that the A's have.
All right, so let's get then back to Torrey discussing the record-setting hit by Nolan Arenado.
First of all, I'm honored to just share the same dugout with him right now. I've watched him for a long time, more when he was in the West, and just admired him from afar. And the fact that I get to manage him is a total honor for me. Future Hall of Famer for sure, and he's just making our ball club better with everything that he's doing. There's an intensity to him. There's a focus with what he's trying to get to every single day. He's got his OPS right around 740. And has done an unbelievable job being a great teammate, and had a special moment there that we were all proud to be a part of.
Same 2 teams play again tonight down at the Yard. You can hear it on our sister station, 98.7.
A couple things there. Even in some of the victories the DBacks have had, even with the Cardinals victory, the runners in scoring position demise is starting to rear its ugly head. Mm-hmm. And you looked at last night, the frustration for Troy Lavella versus the A's is they left 6 runners on. But they were 1 for 5 with runners in scoring position. Now, Marte was 1 for 1, which is great. He produced. Vargas 0 for 1. The young guys coming up. The second game for Locklear 0 for 1. And another young guy, Waldschmidt, 0 for 2. So the young guys coming up in clutch situation is still, for some of these guys that haven't played a lot of baseball, Locklear coming off the injury. He's just now getting into the fold. Waldschmidt's been up and down, up and down. So, again, if you're going to get back into a game or beat a downtrodden team like the A's, you need to take advantage of runners at second base to get those runners over. And those are some of the things I think Torrey's hoping the bottom half of the order can kind of pick that up, so to speak.
One of the things that I've been missing most of this baseball season is being able to say on the radio show, the big dumper. Cal Raleigh, after a sensational season last year with the Seattle Mariners, and he hit 60 home runs. I mean, it was just nuts. Really struggling. He's been injury-plagued this year, but last night, the big dumper does what Cal Raleigh is supposed to do.
On the right side.
Want a redo?
That's what you do when somebody disrespects you. That's what you do right there. Well done, Cal Raleigh.
So did they walk a batter in order to get to Cal
him?
Raleigh?
Yes.
Oh, my God.
Yeah, there
the
you go.
juices for the big dumper had to just be flowing. And did he take a big dump on that fastball to go yard? And I know he's been injured. And he's really been struggling. And a big part of that is as far as what they've been saying is that people are learning how to pitch to him, keeping the ball away, keeping the ball down. And he's been a little frustrated, which you can imagine. after hitting so many home runs last year and breaking the record for catchers for home runs in a season. But nice to see the big dumper.
Yeah.
That we can use that periodically up there and getting those Seattle fans all riled up.
It's one of the greatest nicknames of all time. What's your nickname, you big dumper?
I'm the big dumper. If you're not careful, I'm going to dump on your fastball.
There is so much talk with Cardinals training camp getting ready to open. Ian Rappaport had a couple of comments about the Jacoby Brissett conversations, or lack thereof, with the Cardinals.
And I'll start with the team that is having their players report first. That is the Arizona Cardinals. On the 22nd, veterans and rookies both report. And as of right now, the Arizona Cardinals do not have their starting quarterback under a contract that he would want to play under. Jacoby Brissett has been, over the course of the last several months, embroiled in contract negotiations with the team, trying to get a little more money considering he is going into the season as the starter. Certainly some drama there, because if he is not there to take the first team reps, is Carson Beck someone who could possibly challenge him, and how much do those reps help?
By the way,
yeah.
Ian, Carson Beck hasn't signed yet either. So could y'all imagine? And then you can double check me on that. We'll catch up with Tyler Drake at 3:30 just to do a check, double check.
Okay.
Last time I looked this morning, bright and early, Carson Beck has not signed his contract as the third pick for the Arizona Cardinals. Could you imagine?
Mm-hmm.
You have two unsigned quarterbacks become hold-ins, and you have Gardner Minshew and Keaton Slovis as the only quarterbacks participating at training camp, which, by the way, they report tomorrow. Let that marinate, Cardinal fans, as far as Jacoby. He'll show up because he don't. What is it?
I don't want to get Marshawn Lynch. I'm just here so I won't get fined.
Our good buddy Howard Balzer just sent us a text that the new fine on a per day if you're not there, $60,000 per day. But if you're there and you're a hold-in, you don't get fined. And would you just say that Marshawn said?
I'm just here so I won't get fined.
What about a rookie? A hold-in rookie?
I have no idea.
Are you kidding me? That's an oxymoron.
It is.
So think about that. Jacoby may not show up with an extension, and Carson Beck may not show up because he hasn't signed his rookie contract.
Right.
What the hell, over? Could anything else be a dark cloud over the Arizona Cardinals?
And you got a guy in the front office gambling as well.
Well, his odds on who's going to come in first.
There you go.
I'm sorry.
I know. I know.
I wonder if he's hedged his bet on that one.
All right, just turn his mic off now. Today's Replay Rewind presented by Lerner and Rowe. In a wreck, need a check, just make one call at 602-977-1900. You can get more information at lernerandrowe.com. Again, one call, that's all. 602-977-1900. When we come back, Nick Piecoro is going to join us. He covers the D-backs every game. He is going to be our guest. It's going to be a lot of great information, like always. Let's get you right now to an ESPN 620 Sports Center update.
It's now time for your Roc and Manuch with Jimmy B's ESPN 620 Sports Center update. I'm Matt Lazarus. The D-backs dropped the opener of their three-game set against the Athletics 5-2 last night, and Arizona will look to bounce back and even the series tonight from Chase Field. Left-hander Cole Drake, who was acquired by the D-backs in last season's Merrill Kelly trade, is set to make his major league debut tonight for Arizona. First pitch is set for 6:40 with pregame coverage getting underway at 6 on 98.7 FM, also streaming live on the Arizona Sports app. Nobody does happy hour like Twin Peaks. Join them from 3 to 6 p.m. for Michelob Ultra and Bud Light drafts, tequila cocktails, top shelf spirits poured over ice balls, local craft beers, and those famous 29-degree drafts, all paired with scratch-made bites that actually satisfy. When it comes to happy hour, Twin Peaks doesn't play. Twin Peaks, eats, drinks, and scenic views.
Is happening at Twin Peaks, Monday through Friday, 2 till 6 p.m. with reverse happy hour Sunday through Thursday, 10 till close. Plus, grab 22-ounce Michelob Ultra drafts every Thursday and Saturday, 22-ounce Bud Light drafts every Sunday, and new on Thursdays, $5 Busch Light 16-ounce aluminums. 5 Valley Twin Peak locations, cold beer, scratch-made food, and wall-to-wall sports. Twin Peaks. Tell them Roc and Manuch sent you.
Join the team at All City Towing, Arizona's largest towing company and leader in roadside service. We're hiring dispatchers, call takers, lot attendants, drivers, and customer service pros ready to grow with us. You'll enjoy state-of-the-art equipment, consistent schedules, full health benefits, a strong 401k match, employer life insurance, and a monthly fuel allowance. Take your career to the next level. Apply today at allcitytowing.com. All City Towing, where your future is always moving forward.
Arizona's headquarters for Toyotas is Wright Toyota. Hey, Rock, for my friends at Wright Toyota in Scottsdale. You will always find the right deal at Wright Toyota. Wright Toyota has been driving Arizona's home for years with their amazing service, pricing, and great selection. I encourage you to discover the difference at Wright Toyota. Make the right choice, Wright Toyota, just off the 101 on Franklin Wright Boulevard, and always online at wrighttoyota.com. The right price, the right selection. Check out wrighttoyota.com.
Phoenix, if you need a plumber, call the team that does it the right way. Victory Plumbing Arizona. It's particular plumbing for particular people with upfront pricing before the work starts. So there's no surprises when the job's done. And here's a deal just for listeners. Tell them you heard Victory Plumbing on Roc and Manuch with Jimmy B, and they'll waive the service charge. For leaks, clogs, water heaters, or anything plumbing, book today at victoryplumbingarizona.com. ROC number 268603. Right in the heart of Arizona Athletic Grounds, one of the largest youth sports complexes in North America. Bristol's is the ultimate hangout for families and sports fans in Mesa. Come experience amazing double-decker cheeseburgers, award-winning wings, smoked barbecue, and fresh, craveable salads. With seating for 500, a full bar, 20 beers on tap, and over 100 TVs, happy hour Thursdays, Friday and Sunday from 4 till 6, plus trivia night every Thursday night. Bristol's, where Mesa comes to eat, watch, and win.
Finding yourself skipping your self-care routine, experiencing things around you others don't, or withdrawing from friends and family. You might be experiencing first episode psychosis, or FEP. Stress, trauma, substance use, even genetics can trigger it. And if you're in your late teens to mid-20s, it's impacting you more than others. Know the signs of FEP. Go to learnmorefep.org. Sponsored by MatForce, working to build healthier communities.
Roc and Manuch with Jimmy B on ESPN 620.
The 2-2. Swung on, ripped to left. That's fair. It rolls into the corner. Arenado digs for second, and that's career hit number 2,000 for one of the greatest third basemen the game's ever seen.
Well, that's why we invited Nick Piecoro on the show today to break down Nolan Arenado's historic moment from last night. You can find Nick on X at Nick Piecoro. Again, that's at Nick Piecoro. He's the Diamondbacks beat writer for the Arizona Republic and, of course, AZ Central Sports. Nick, welcome, pal. What was that moment like when it took place, when everybody in the stands and you see the double down the left field line?
Yeah, it was neat. It seemed like everybody was aware. They put it up on the board. You got a nice ovation. You could tell just kind of the way that Arenado was acting out there on the field, and certainly the way he talked to us after the game, that it meant a lot to him, that it wasn't just another hit. It was a big milestone that he'd been looking forward to.
Nick, talk about elite milestones. Jimmy and I were talking about this last segment, that he joins Ken Griffey Jr., Willie Mays, Mike Schmidt, Johnny Bench, and Al Kaline as the only players in Major League Baseball history to record at least 2,000 hits, 350 home runs, and win 10 Gold Gloves. Until you see that, you go, wow. I mean, Nolan Arenado kind of snuck up on everybody over the last 3 or 4 years to get to this milestone.
It's quite a crew he's with, right? I mean, I think it's just a matter of time until he ends up in the Hall of Fame with them. He's been a dominant defensive third baseman. I know a lot of his offense came at Coors Field, but he went to St. Louis and, for a few years there showed that he's a dominant hitter at the plate. even outside of that offensive environment there in Denver. Yeah, he's a hell of a player, and you could tell from listening to him that just being on that list with those names was humbling. He talked about Mike Schmidt being one of the first guys, like one of the first legends of the game that had made a comment about liking the way that he plays baseball. Like I like this third baseman, or I like the way this guy plays the game. Schmidt said something like that early in Arenado's career, and it stuck with him, and it meant a lot to him, and he remembers it to this day, and just was clearly humbled to be on that list with him.
Nick, it's interesting. I don't know if it was right before the San Diego series, before the break, or during that series. They move him down from the 5 hole to the number 7 hole. It seems he's been so much more productive in that 7 hole these last, I'll say, 3 weeks. More home runs, more base hits. Have you talked to him about the comfort level, or is it responsibility being the bottom half of the order? Why do you think that is?
I don't think. I mean, he was hitting 6th last night. I mean, I don't think there's really a whole lot to it, to be honest. I just think he wasn't feeling great at the plate for a while, and he's feeling better now. I mean, I do think, listening to him last night, it was interesting the way that he was talking about, I was 15 hits away from 2000 at one point in June. I'm looking at it and I'm like, am I ever going to get there? I'm not going to get there. It kind of shows you how, the human side of these guys that, even someone with, whatever it was, 1,985 career hits in his
Is that just by necessity these guys are pitching, or they just want to take a good look at them at the major league level?
No, they're not strategically thinking this is a good time for this, or this is an opportunity to. No, this is out of need. I mean, if they were hoping Michael Soroka was going to be back from the injured list by now and was going to plug in there. Going back a little further, I mean, they were hoping that Corbin Burns was going to be coming back from the injured list right around this time of year. Look, I mean, they viewed these guys as rotation depth and guys that could be part of the solution going forward. And Bratt, to his credit, has thrown pretty well this season down in Reno. I just don't think a lot of these other guys have really emerged the way maybe they were hoping. You know, Christian Mano was a guy they were looking at as rotation depth. He hasn't pitched all year and had shoulder surgery. I don't know if it was last month, but somewhat recently. You know, Dylan Ray, Human Lin, some other guys just, you know, have had, you know, not inspiring seasons, I guess, down in Reno, along with Drake. So this wave of starting pitchers that they've developed has been kind of disappointing. You know, the hope is that the next group of guys coming through can be a little bit better. You know, one of them, Ashton Izzy, just got moved up to Reno. He was part of the Josh Naylor trade last year with the Mariners. They've got another guy in Hageman that was part of that Merrill Kelly trade who's having a nice season. That's kind of the next wave. But yeah, I mean, right now they're just hoping these guys can get them through until Soroka's back.
And all right, so you just real quick, speaking of the Mariners, I just want to get Tyler Locklear's finally up playing again. He's healthy. They got 12 games before the trade deadline. Is he an open audition right now for the next 12 games to see what he can or can't do at first base?
I mean, that I feel like that suggests there's a lot of faith that like he's going to be able to nail it down, and that if he does, that they wouldn't go and make a deal. Like, I mean, I think if he caught some serious fire, you know, maybe he could do that. I mean, my sense is that they're still looking to add at first base and DH, one or the other, maybe both. Who can say? And you know, maybe Locklear, maybe Tawa can kind of solidify their spot on the roster, even with an acquisition. But I don't really see it quite like that. I think he had a nice little couple week run there in Reno. You know, but I think that if they're going to fancy themselves contenders, you know, and trying to win a wild card and end up buying, I think they're going to be looking for some sort of veteran reinforcements.
Take me back to Soroka, because what you said concerned me. And that is, well, we thought he was going to be ready to go. How long now are they considering Soroka's going to be out?
Yeah, probably another week or two. He's getting relatively close, it sounds like. He's thrown some bullpens. Apparently he's bouncing back better from them than he did when he first got off the mound a few weeks ago. He had to take, I forget if it was maybe a week or 10 days off after he threw his first bullpen. He just didn't respond to the way they had hoped, I guess. Yeah, so I mean, it's getting close. It sounds like sometime maybe around the trade deadline, which is August 3rd. He could potentially be back. I think he's, you know, we'll see, you know, how built up he is when they bring him back too. That's another thing we'll have to figure out.
And it's interesting how you listen to the broadcasts, and it's almost scoreboard watching time. And as you mentioned, August 3rd is a trade deadline. And aside from the A's this series and the Guardians in Cleveland, the D-backs, their next 4 National League Series opponents are folks they're basically chasing for that third wild card spot. Now, obviously, they're going to win the head-to-head versus the Cardinals, whether they win or lose on Thursday. But you got the Nationals, Pirates, and then you come back home against the Padres. So they've got their work cut out for them for that third place spot in that third place wild card situation.
Yeah, I agree. I think you also look going forward to the August and September schedule. I think it does ease up a little bit in spots, but some of that might depend on which direction some of these clubs go. If the Padres end up selling, you know, those games could look a little bit softer. I think they have, you know, series coming up against the Marlins, the Astros in the second half, Texas. Like, I don't know exactly where these clubs are going to stand when they run into them. I mean, Texas, I guess, is probably going to be in it. The AL West is pretty bad at the moment. But, you know, I think if they can get through this stretch, you know, things should soften up a little bit. And, you know, if they are able to add to their team and get some guys back healthy, you know, you got to feel okay about where they are. You know, I don't think they're the kind of team that you should be probably trading away your very best prospects to add to. But if you can, add some kind of second tier, veterans to round out some spots where you're particularly weak, maybe another arm in the bullpen, maybe, like I said, even if it's just like a platoon solution at first base or DH or something, those guys could help.
Okay. About 45 seconds left. In your meanderings through the baseball world, any chatter at all about the possibility of no baseball next season?
I mean, that's kind of all anybody talks about. Yeah, I mean, I think everybody's afraid of that sort of possibility. You look at the exchanges that the sides have had, and it doesn't feel like certainly the proposals that the owners have made to the players don't seem even remotely close to something that the players would accept. I don't think anybody. Nobody really knows. If anybody tells you they know what's going to happen and they're not like Bruce Meyer or Roc Manfred, I wouldn't believe them. And look, there's one side has 30 different interests. The other side has 1,000 different interests. So it's a complicated thing, and we'll see where they are. Obviously, I think they'd be foolish to have to cancel games or push back the momentum the sport seems to have at the moment. But we'll see what they do.
You say interest, and I laugh because 2 weeks ago we saw the 2027 baseball schedule come out.
Yes.
I've never seen it come out that early, Nick. And maybe it's a hint that, hey, look, get your money in now so we can get the interest off that money if we have to reimburse you for a lost 2027 season. I just found it comical with all this going on. They put the 2027 schedule out like, a year, almost 9 to 10 months prior to the 2027 season.
Yeah, I hadn't thought about that. I don't remember exactly usually when it comes out, but that is interesting.
You know what, Nick? When you show up, you learn about Drake. You learn about interest. You learn about season. There's a whole heck of a lot of stuff. You got to tune in more often, Nick Piecoro.
Absolutely.
There you go. It's always good, pal, when you're on the show with us. Thank you, Nick. Enjoy the game tonight.
Take care.
There you go. That's Nick Piecoro, everybody. AZ Central, also Arizona Republic. He's presented by Venezia's Pizza. Hey, look, when it's game day, Venezia makes it easy. 7 locations across the valley. Here's the best part. They deliver. That's right. They deliver. You don't have to call a service to bring your food. Just call Venezia's. They'll bring it to you. And you can order online at venezias.com. Again, that's venezias.com. Quick break. When we come back on this day, a little football at 50. Roc and Manuch with Jimmy B. ESPN 620.
Now open in North Scottsdale. It's the Orangedale Lounge. ODs, right off Thompson Peak and Bell, next to Bash's. Your new favorite dive bar has arrived. Cold drafts, chill vibes, always affordable prices, and the OD Mug Club, a one-of-a-kind membership you won't find anywhere else. No frills, just great people, ice-cold drinks, and a bar that feels like it's always been there. Follow at OD Scottsdale and get the scoop at orangedalelounge.com. Orangedale Lounge. Dive in and drink up.
Rock for WrightToyota.com. At Wright Toyota, they'd like you to get to know them. Their goal is to make buying your next vehicle the kind of experience that earns your recommendation to family and friends. They invite you to use all their innovative web tools on WrightToyota.com. So if you're looking for a new or pre-owned Toyota, head to their interactive website at WrightToyota.com. The right price, the right selection, all at WrightToyota.com.
I was in a wreck. I need a check.
I was in a wreck. I need a check.
I was in a wreck. I need a check.
I'm Kevin Rowe from Lerner and Rowe, and we've been serving Arizonans for 20 years. Make the best choice after an accident. Call 977-1900. That's 977-1900.
Lerner and Rowe, it's the way to go. On 977-1900. 977-1900.
When it's game time in the Valley, you know what time it is. It's Twin Peaks time. Head to Twin Peaks with 5 Valley locations and massive screens everywhere you look. From basketball, baseball to hockey, fights, and more, there's no better place to catch every play and all the action. Bud Light is a proud partner of sports fans everywhere. Twin Peaks, eats, drinks, scenic views.
Think you can handle a few drinks and still drive safely? Think again. Buzzed driving is drunk driving, and drunk driving can land you in serious trouble. In Arizona, there's zero tolerance for impaired driving. Even one drink can cost you thousands in fines and legal fees. Plus, take away your driver's license. So plan ahead. Use a designated driver or rideshare. Get the facts at drivesober.az.gov. This message is sponsored by the Governor's Office of Highway Safety.
Sleep isn't just rest, it's restoration. Poor sleep can increase your risk of cognitive decline and dementia. Getting 7 to 8 hours of quality sleep each night helps your brain clear toxins and stay sharp. Research shows that up to 40% of dementia cases could be prevented or delayed by addressing risk factors, including lack of sleep. Tonight, give your brain the rest it deserves. Learn more at alz.org/healthy habits. This message is sponsored by the Alzheimer's Association and the Arizona Department of Health Services.
Roc and Manuch with Jimmy B want to take you back. A quick reflection on some of the more memorable moments in sports and pop culture. Now, time for your Right Toyota on this day report. Right Toyota, right on the corner, right on the price. Right Toyota in Scottsdale.
All right, it's one of our favorite segments. Manuch, what do you got stuck in your armpit on this day?
Well, a little on this day. Going to go back to 2017. As the D-backs start off their game with 3 consecutive homers off Nationals ace Max Scherzer.
What?
Diamondback is about
Wow.
the way. Yeah. Remember the guy named David Peralta?
Uh-huh.
How about A.J. Pollock?
Yeah, I know him.
And how about Jake Lamb?
Yeah.
All hit long balls back to back to back. However, the game's not decided until the 9th inning when Brandon Drury hits a bases-loaded single to give Arizona a 6-5 win. That going back to 2017. That on July 21st, 2017. Think about that. You had David Peralta came over from the Red Sox. He did okay at 25 dingers.
Yeah.
Finished his career at with the Dodgers. A.J. Pollock, always hurt. Outstanding center fielder. Young man out of Notre Dame. Always hurt. But I think he finished his career at with the Dodgers. And then Jake Lamb, he was an up-and-coming third baseman. And just on again, off again, on again, off again. But some of those names going back. And then Brandon Drury. Remember that name, too. So a lot of individuals bring back a lot of memories going back the Diamondback way of life.
It's interesting that you mentioned Scherzer. Scherzer is on the mound tonight in Buffalo for the Buffalo Bisons, which is the AAA team of Toronto. It's his after injury start, and then they will call him back to the Blue Jays. Yep, rehab start tonight. All right, let's do a little football at 50. It is always presented by our great partnership with Biggs American Bar and Grill, and we are back there on Monday nights. We'll be there for preseason action. Of course, the regular season, the playoffs, even your fantasy football party. If you're out by that Peoria bar, you need to go to Biggs. Why? Because ice cold drinks, loaded burgers, and wall-to-wall TVs, they will take great care of you and your fantasy football party. It's right off the 101, 83rd Avenue and Bell Road. It's in Peoria. Just look them up. It's BiggsPeoria.com. Again, BiggsPeoria.com. It's where Peoria goes for football. All right, what do we got?
Well, football update. We thought we'd put Laz to the task to see. There's been some signings going on here a week before training camp. Now, the Cardinals and Panthers report tomorrow.
Okay.
Since they've got the Hall of Fame game. But as of next week, Laz, we got a few signings that are seeing extensions and unrestricted free agents on top of it all.
Yeah, a few last-second signings here before training camp gets underway this weekend and next week. Jordan Brooks with the Miami Dolphins has signed a 3-year, $52 million contract extension. He played inside linebacker for them for the last few years, so they locked him down for a few more, $52 million. That's a pretty good deal this late into the offseason for him. Over in Green Bay, nose guard and defensive tackle Devontae Wyatt. He signed a 3-year, $57 million contract extension with Green Bay, so that they locked him down as well for the next few years. Gave him, again, a pretty big contract for this late into offseason, so he's not going anywhere. He'll be in Green Bay for the next 3 seasons for $57 million. And then another small move, last but not least here in the last couple of days, Isaiah Aiton, who was a rookie last year, defensive tackle for the New England Patriots, but during preseason, he landed on injured reserve with a leg/hip injury, so they called it. So he was out for the entire season last year. So they just added him to the 90-man roster ahead of training camp and gave him a 1-year extension. So he will be on that active roster this year for the New England Patriots.
And still no Jacoby Brissett signing, no Carson Beck
Nope.
signing.
Yep.
Nope.
So those two, well, I put it this way. Carson Beck hasn't signed his rookie contract yet. Jacoby Brissett's looking for extra money. He's got a contract.
Yes.
He's got 1 more year left on his contract.
Yeah.
He's looking for more money, maybe an extension. And I mentioned this earlier. You can be a hold-in at training camp and not get fined $60,000 per day.
Mm-hmm.
Now, I don't think if you're not signed as a rookie, you wouldn't get fined because you haven't signed.
You don't have a deal.
Yeah, you don't have a deal. But could you imagine if you had Carson Beck and Jacoby Brissett both show up and be hold-ins? I mean, Beck doesn't have to show up if he doesn't want to because he wouldn't get fined.
Right.
Because he's under no obligation.
I never would have bet on that.
Absolutely not.
Minshew mania time, guys.
It's Minshew and your buddy Keaton Slovis.
Yeah.
The Desert Mountain
Oh,
Brat.
yeah.
Yeah, who you still haven't delivered on yet.
Oh, he's on his way. Don't worry.
Can you imagine another saga for the
Yeah.
Arizona Cardinals? Yeah, you got all your quarterbacks there, but there's only 2 practicing because one wants more money and the other one hasn't signed his contract yet, being a rookie. What the hell is going on around here?
That's the Arizona Cardinals for you, baby.
Unbelievable.
Shocking. Absolutely shocking.
Never ceases to amaze.
I'm with you. Hey, one of the fastest guys ever in the NFL, wide receiver Don Beebe, played with Buffalo and Green Bay. He's going to be our guest. You will not want to miss this. It's going to be really, really good. Don Beebe coming up next, everybody. ESPN 620.
The IRS finally caught up with Louie.
I hadn't paid my taxes in 8 years. I owe the IRS a lot of money.
Louie was in deep trouble.
We're going to take your house, put a lien on your bank account, garnish your pay. They don't care. They're going to take your paycheck.
Louie found out about Optima Tax Relief, the leading tax resolution firm. A+ rated by the Better Business Bureau, they've resolved over $3 billion for their clients.
Optima Tax, they help me. They calm me down. They make me feel comfortable, and I trust them.
Louie has a lot to be thankful for.
I don't owe the IRS anymore, and I'm able to live a comfortable life, a lot better life. It was because of Optima Tax.
For tax help you can trust, call Optima now for a free consultation. Take it from Louie.
If you owe the IRS, don't go it alone. Give Optima Tax a call. They can help you.
Call 800-343-6460. 800-343-6460. 800-343-6460.
Optima Tax Relief.
Testimonial from an actual client. Some restrictions apply. For complete details, please visit OptimaTaxRelief.com.
This is the story of the one. As a maintenance engineer at a beverage manufacturing plant, he starts his day knowing every line is ready to run because Grainger delivers the industrial-grade products he needs to keep mixers, conveyors, and packaging equipment moving. With Grainger's vast selection of bearings, belts, and motors, he keeps operations running smoothly, so nothing grinds to a halt. Call 1-800-GRAINGER, click Grainger.com, or just stop by. Grainger, for the ones who get it done.
Doug.
Hot dog. Get your hot dog.
Customize and save with Liberty Mutual.
Hey, what are you doing?
I like your method. Direct, to the point. A little loud, but...
Listen, people don't buy car insurance the same way they do hot dogs.
Not yet, but both are customizable.
Popcorn! Get your popcorn!
Hey, this is a hot dog area.
And customize and save area. Get a quote at libertymutual.com or with your local agent.
Liberty, 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 liberty.
When it's game time in the Valley, you know what time it is. It's Twin Peaks time. Head to Twin Peaks with 5 Valley locations and massive screens everywhere you look. From basketball, baseball, to hockey, fights, and more, there's no better place to catch every play and all the action. Bud Light is a proud partner of sports fans everywhere. Twin Peaks, eats, drinks, scenic views. Bigger fields, bigger events, bigger experiences. Arizona Athletic Grounds. Arizona Athletic Grounds is a 275-acre sports and entertainment destination for athletes, fans, and families. Located in Mesa, AAG is one of the largest multi-sport complexes in the country, with over 475,000 square feet indoors and more than 150 fields and courts. From tournaments to training to cheer, dance, concerts, and corporate events, the Grounds does it all. Learn more at azgrounds.com.
KTAR AM Phoenix, Arizona's home for the worldwide leader in sports, is ESPN 620. Now back to Roc and Manuch with Jimmy B. Now on ESPN 620.
The 2-2. Swung on, ripped to left. That's fair. It rolls into the corner. Arenado digs for second, and that's career hit number 2,000 for one of the greatest third basemen the game's ever seen.
Thank you to Arizona Sports for the highlight. Great highlight last night and a great honor for Nolan Arenado. Welcome back, everybody. Roc and Manuch with Jimmy B. Here for your listening and dancing pleasure until 4 o'clock this afternoon. Same two teams at the Yard tonight. You can listen to the game on our sister station, 98.7.
You know, Jimmy, you look at Nolan Arenado, and you know, a lot of folks don't realize the rare company he's with. I mean, he's now joined this historic club alongside Ken Griffey Jr., Willie Mays, Mike Schmidt, Johnny Bench, and Al Kaline as the only players in Major League Baseball history to record at least 2,000 hits, 350 home runs, and win 10 Gold Gloves. And, you know, a lot of folks say he's probably one of the best third basemen that's come down the pike since maybe Brooks Robinson.
That's heavy praise.
That's it. I mean, by winning 10 consecutive Gold Gloves to start his career off. So this young man from Southern California that is just continued to be steady Eddie at third base. He's hitting the ball a lot better. He's more consistent, I feel. And I don't know if it's a coincidence or not. I really don't, coincidence or not, that he's been moved down to the 6 hole and the 7 hole.
Right.
But he's really picking up more home runs, more consistency. Now, he might be 1 for 3, 1 for 4, but they've been big hits. I mean, getting the double last night to get the 2,000th hit. The night before, he hit a game-tying 2-run home run against the St. Louis Cardinals.
Yep.
So I think a lot of folks that aren't real familiar, you know he's outstanding. But when I throw those numbers and those other names at you, you go, wow. I mean, yeah, I guess he is legit. Well, he's been legit for many years. And I think you look at this as going, he's a Hall of Famer. Enjoy it while you can. Still manages that third base, the hot corner, extremely well.
Yes.
Great arm, great movement. Still very agile around third base to get to a lot of balls that guys start getting in their mid to upper 30s can't get to.
Has a great arm,
absolutely hose there at third base. So huge congrats to Nolan Arenado and getting the joining the elite company for those Hall of Famers or those that are already in the Hall of Fame.
What do you expect tonight? Do you expect the A's to again find a way to beat the D-backs, or do you think the Diamondbacks bounce back after last night's loss?
I think they bounce back. I really do. I think that you look at this Diamondback team and you sit there and go, okay, guys, you're only a half game back of that third place spot of the wild card, right?
Yeah.
Now you're chasing the Pirates, Marlins, Cardinals, Phillies, and Cubs. You should, on paper at least, win 2 out of 3 to continue to hold serve with those 4 or 5 teams in front of you, correct?
So you would think so.
You would think so. But you got a young guy, another young guy that's pretty much on the bump for this Diamondback team that's come up named Cole Drake. So Cole Drake's going to be going against Perkins tonight. And I think that these ERAs have been way up there for this.
It has been.
He's, I think last night's pitcher was like 5.96. You got Jack Perkins taking the mound the night for the A's. His ERA is 6.87. So there are opportunities for this Diamondback team to jump all over Perkins, which I hope. But Cole Drake, if you're not familiar, let's pull up a few stats on this young man. Now, I know he came over for the Merrill Kelly trade.
Yeah.
last year with the Texas Rangers.
Well, Nick Piecoro that we had on in our first hour, who covers the D-backs for the Arizona Republic every game basis, indicated that he felt that A, he had lost some velocity, B, he had not been pitching well in Reno, and C, because of the injuries, he's going to get a chance to throw tonight.
And number one thing is he's a lefty.
Yes,
so
he is.
Not many lefties on this Diamondback pitching staff, whether it come out of the bullpen or a start. But here you go. You've had the young guys that have started. Bratt last night. We've had Cabrera. Now we got Cole Drake. A last little scouting report from this young man coming up.
So this season, he's made 18 total appearances, featuring a combined 1-6 record, a 7.37 ERA, and 69 strikeouts over 66 in a third innings pitched, with a whip of 1.64. Could be worse, but not much worse. And if he's moving up to the big leagues, who knows how that'll translate. But like we said, he's 6'5", and he's a lefty frame. He throws from an interesting arm slot, it looks like, so you never know what could happen. Sometimes it takes a change of pace for a guy like that, and you can figure it out. So hopefully, fingers crossed. I mean, we got no one else to throw tonight, so either him or the rapper.
How about that?
So,
we don't have anybody else. Kid, you're in.
It's interesting because, the injuries, they thought Soroka would be back.
Right.
He's not responding. Ryan Nelson, he's probably going to be another 2 or 3 weeks, depending. Corbin Burns, we don't know. Merrill Kelly's pitching fairly decent, at least. But here you go against the A's. You got to take advantage if you're going to have to play some young guys and not have to go deep into your bullpen, because that's the last thing you want to backfire. Is you got Perkins, the pitcher for the A's, who's 7.67 ERA, and here you have Cole Drake, 7-point-something in AAA.
Right. Yep.
I don't know. Maybe the first 1 to 13 wins this game.
13 to 12 games.
Well, he throws 5 pitches. He throws a four-seam fastball, a cutter, a changeup, a curveball, and a slider. The problem is he throws that four-seam fastball almost 60% of the time, so he's not using the other pitches very much.
Yeah, again, if you're going to come to the major leagues, he probably won't be real confident with those other pitches. So I think you'll probably see fastball change, maybe a slider, just to kind of get him in the groove and just to kind of make him comfortable. So I believe Gabby might be starting tonight, if not him, Del Castillo. I think the pregame strategy for Torey Lovello and his pitching staff with Kaplan as a pitching coach is to keep it simple, stupid.
Yeah.
I mean, just say, hey, look,
throw strikes.
Just throw strikes. Allow your infield to make plays behind you. Don't try to get too cute. Keep everything down. Make sure you keep everything down. Did I mention keep everything down? And just hope for the best, because, I mean, you look at the bullpen last night. I mean, you think about that. You had Burgos pitch, Ginkel, La Suega, Garcia. So they're taxing the bullpen just a little bit. So if they can get this kid, hopefully go 4 innings at most, 4 or 5 innings. Because if I think correctly, I think Cabrera went a good, 4 his first start. Bratt went maybe 4 or 5.
That looks like that's been the leash for those guys. It's like, don't worry about the pitch count. You're only going to throw 60, maybe at most 70 pitches. Give them a few innings to get settled in, and then you can get through 4 or 5 with your bullpen, who's been pretty dependable other than Ginkel last night.
So I think if you're the lineup, it's, hey, look, guys, we got to jump on Perkins quick. I mean, rare. Let's jump on him early and often. Let's stay on top of him to give this kid a little bit of breathing room to come out there, maybe take some of that pressure off of him. So it'll be very interesting tonight. And then hopefully they win the 2 out of 3 before they move on to St. Louis Thursday to play that makeup game. And then move on for the 9-game road trip going to Pittsburgh, the Nationals, and the Cleveland Guardians.
Let me follow up then. You just referenced that road trip. If things do not go well on that road trip, and now we're closing in on August 3rd, trading deadline, they're going to have some tough decisions to make.
No, I don't think they will. I think
you don't think so, really?
No, I think
you think they're going to be buyers
they're
no
buyers.
matter what?
Yeah, they're only a half game out
right now.
Yeah, but I mean, if it goes to hell in a handbasket, all of a sudden they're 8 games out, which I doubt. Then even then,
what if they're 5?
Oh no, you're still a buyer. 5.
Okay.
Oh yeah, absolutely. Because you look at the schedule, they really get a little bit of breathing room when I think of this Diamondback schedule. I mean, it's truly the gauntlet. When you look at the schedule moving on these next 12 games before the trade deadline you're alluding to, because you come back August 3rd, which is the trade deadline, besides the Padres and then the Dodgers, after that, Jimmy, you got the Rockies, Atlanta, who's pretty tough. And then there's Boston, who's won 14 games in a row.
Yeah, they got hot.
And they're fighting for their wild card spot. They're fighting for that third spot. And then Cincy, Chicago. So it's not really like till the end of August, where San Francisco, maybe Houston, or maybe Kansas City, but not a lot of wiggle room moving forward. The only wiggle room you see is if the Padres decide to become sellers for a 4-game match here against the Diamondbacks when they get back on August 3rd.
It'll be interesting to see how San Diego does. They did have a couple of games they were playing against Atlanta. Machado seemed like he was finally starting to break out and hit the ball. He had a couple home runs in that series. If their hitters get going, they are extremely dangerous. But here they are, meaning San Diego, hovering right around that third spot, and yet their hitters are hitting below 200.
Yeah,
it's amazing.
It's something you bring up that they're due to get hot right there.
They're due.
They've won 5 out of the last 10. They're basically 50-50, and they're still hovering around where they're
1 game below 500.
1 game below 500, 2 games below 500 now. So
they lost last night.
They're waiting to break out, and I think the rest of the National League West is waiting for them to break out as well too. Dodgers are just cruising.
Yeah.
So that wild card spot, it's still a long LONNNG second half for this Diamondback team. So if you're going to be a player in that third place wild card spot, you're going to need to become a buyer, because I think they're going to, even if they get 3 or 4 games back, they're going to want to make a run.
Okay.
Go get that, I don't know, first baseman, other bullpen arm, or something to that effect that at least gives them a chance to be those last 2 weeks make a run at that third place wild card spot.
Don't you find it interesting that we don't even discuss the Dodgers?
Because they're so far out there.
That's what I'm saying.
Yeah.
I mean, they're not even in any conversation unless their game is on national television and they were matched up against Philly or the Yankees, something like that, where you have star power on both teams. But as far as being in the equation on the West Coast, nobody even talks about them because they're 326 games in front of everybody else.
Yeah, give or take a few, but you're right. I mean, you look at that.
It's amazing.
It's just amazing how they just continually
just
stay out in front of the curve. And you talk about this team that just continues to just be that juggernaut.
They are.
Even though they lost, 10-7 against the Phillies last night. What a great game that was.
Wild.
On
Trey Turner had a couple of home runs in that game for the Phillies.
Had a couple of errors as well, too. But you know what? You're right, Jimmy. The Dodgers will just hold serve, be that team that makes the playoffs. And the parity, if you will, is the 7 teams behind them in that wild card spot.
That is correct. Portion of the program presented today by Victory Plumbing Arizona. Hey, look, if you need a plumber, call the team that does it right. It's Victory Plumbing. They offer up front pricing before the work begins. So when the work is finished, there are no surprises. You know exactly what you are going to have to pay. So when you mention Roc and Manuch with Jimmy B, they waive the service charge. So just say, hey, I was listening to those dopes on radio. Roc and Manuch with Jimmy. Oh, no service charge for you if you like those guys. So all you got to do is just go online, victoryplumbingarizona.com. Again, that's victoryplumbingarizona.com. All right, the NBA Summer League has come and gone. What are your memories of it? And when the teams start to hit the hardwood again for the NBA in late October, Suns player Devin Booker is going to make over $57 million a year. Can a brother get a loan here? How do I go about that? It's Roc and Manuch with Jimmy B, ESPN 620.
Hours happening at Twin Peaks, Monday through Friday, 2 till 6 p.m. With reverse happy hour, Sunday through Thursday, 10 till close. Plus, grab 22-ounce Michelob Ultra drafts every Thursday and Saturday, 22-ounce Bud Light drafts every Sunday, and new on Thursdays, $5 Busch Light 16-ounce aluminums. 5 Valley Twin Peak locations, cold beer, scratch-made food, and wall-to-wall sports. Twin Peaks, tell them Roc and Manuch sent ya.
I was in a wreck. I need a check.
I
was in a wreck. I need a check.
I was in a wreck. I need a check.
I'm attorney Chevin Rowe. Getting in an auto accident is traumatic. You need to call the best law firm that has the experience to get you the best results. Call 977-1900. That's 977-1900.
Hey, Arizona State football fans, London is calling. The Sun Devils are headed across the pond to face Kansas in the inaugural Union Jack Classic, September 19th at Wembley Stadium. It's the first college football game ever played there, and you should be part of it. For tickets, hospitality, and travel packages, visit UnionJackClassic.com or contact the Sun Devil ticket office. Join Coach Dillingham, Sparky, and the Sun Devils in London. Forks up.
Phoenix, if you need a plumber, call the team that does it the right way. Victory Plumbing Arizona. It's particular plumbing for particular people with upfront pricing before the work starts. So there's no surprises when the job's done. And here's a deal just for listeners. Tell them you heard Victory Plumbing on Roc and Manuch with Jimmy B, and they'll waive the service charge. For leaks, clogs, water heaters, or anything plumbing, book today at victoryplumbingarizona.com. ROC number 268603.
Need to feed a crowd? Let Venencia's bring the flavor to your next event. We know you have a lot of options when feeding a large group. Ordering directly from Venencia's means you get the best service and the absolute best pricing. There's no per person fee. Just tell us how many people you need to feed, and we'll come up with a perfect plan to ensure everyone's well fed and happy. Grad party, office celebration, family reunion. Invite Venencia's to the table. Text catering to 411-24/7. That's catering to 411-247 or Venencias.com.
Your brain is powerful. It helps you learn, create, and become who you're meant to be. But too much screen time or drugs can make it harder to focus, stay motivated, or even feel like yourself. And over time, your brain needs more of that stimulation just to feel normal. What you do now matters. You've got one brain, take care of it. Learn more at loveyourbrainaz.com. Sponsored by the Substance Awareness Coalition Leaders of Arizona.
You my little boo thing, so I'll give a hoot what you do. Say, girl, I know you a little too tight. I'll be shooting that shot like 2K, girl, I know.
Now back to Roc and Manuch with Jimmy B. Now on ESPN 620.
Inside to Pierre. That one gets rejected by Manuch. Wow, he covered a lot of ground on that one. Manuch launches. With the three-pointer. Put him back in the game.
Thank you to ESPN for the highlight. ESPN Summer League, it is now in the record books. And Kamala Manuch had a solid summer league, as did Koa Pete. And those were the two guys that I was most interested in to see how they were going to perform. I found it interesting, though, when we had Tim Kempton on the show last week. And I asked him about those two players, and he basically gave the answer of, yeah, they played really well, but they're playing against guys that they had played against in college basketball for the most part. It'll be a totally different thing when training camp opens up.
Well, Captain Obvious, you think so?
Well,
I mean,
I'm just telling you what Timmy said. That's all.
Let's not spoil.
Don't be busting on me when I'm quoting Timmy.
No, I know. And Tim agrees. Yeah, look, they're doing a good job. He was very impressed with Kamala Manuch. He's also very impressed with Rasheer Fleming, who really he felt took the next step of developing. Matter of fact, I thought Rasheer Fleming started taking the next step toward the end of last year, shooting the ball, rebounding. His defense.
I thought he was still inconsistent at the end of the season.
You got, again, Tim Kempton, who's the pro basketball player.
I understand. Day in, day out. I'm giving you my observation. I felt that shooting the ball, even at the end of the season, he was still inconsistent.
Well, that's okay. He's a rookie.
Yeah,
okay, second-year guy.
That's what I'm saying.
We're looking for growth, Jimmy. We're not looking for NBA All-Stars here.
I understand.
So the one thing that was everybody, so I'm in Vegas over the weekend. I'm watching the TV, and AAU basketball is there. You got the rookies that are there, as we mentioned, the summer league, and all the guys that are there. A lot of the NBA players, they're here and they're there. The buzz, the talk was Koa Pete. He was the talk, the buzz. And there was the Peterson kid and the kid from BYU.
AJ DeBonsa.
DeBonsa, exactly. But all that being said, they said some of the biggest growth they've seen from last year to this year was Manuch.
Okay.
The consistency in block shots, energy. They said that they always knew the kid could run. The kid was very athletic, could get up and down the court. But a lot of folks didn't realize that he could shoot like he did. So he's not a three-point shooter per se.
No, that's not his strength.
But they said that piece of his repertoire could be that if he starts to hit a few threes, takes a mid-range shot, that he's starting to develop a complete game. And so I watch ESPN has the wrap on the Summer League.
Oh, sure.
And they're kind of breaking down all the teams. You know, how's this rookie going to fit in? How's this second-year guy going to fit in? And the growth, just the growth that these guys have seen in reference to that next step into the second year of the NBA. And not that, Manuch is going to be an end-all, be-all kind of kid, but they're thinking that this is the kind of growth he's going to need if they put him as the backup to Mark Williams.
Well, they have to.
Or Nicodoro is involved. So I agree with you. I think he'd have to be the backup.
Yes.
To get him developed. And Nicodoro, they'll figure out a spot for him because of the lack of shooting from this young man. The other thing, too, again, like Tim Kempton, that they talked about was Rasheer Fleming and the growth that he had. So he caught the national perspective or eyes from that standpoint. But, again, they were like, wow. For a lot of people that hadn't seen, these guys have all seen all these guys, but they thought that the way Koa Pete came in, competed, his physicality, his athleticism, on and on and on, for a guy to have a chance to go to the next level and have some success, not so much start, but have some success, was good to hear those ears outside of Phoenix, Arizona, kind of back up what the Kemptons of the world would say, or these other guys that they hope to see from these three individuals moving forward in this year's team.
You know, I'm dialed into the Summer League just because a long time ago I did some of those games and I just kind of got hooked on it. And like you, I wanted to see what the young guys are going to do for different respective teams. I watched DeBonsa play. I watched Darren Peterson play for Utah as well. Boy, both those guys are going to be studs, no question. But for the Suns, I did see similar things that you saw. I saw Manuch score on the block. I saw him step out and shoot a three once in a while, which is fine, just as long as it's once in a while. And I saw him extremely active defensively and creating block shots, making it difficult for teams to take the ball to the basket when he was on the court.
And let me interrupt you there, Jimmy. That's the biggest thing they talked about right there. Is his activity, his motion down low for the block shots and the rebound.
But the thing that I'm going to look forward to, Manuch, and I know that everybody wants to see the young guys improve, that's perfect. I get it. I want to see Luke Kennard and Pat Spencer.
Sure.
Because of, I've covered those guys in the association. I know what they're about. I have seen them perform at extremely high levels. And if indeed the Suns are going to make that jump from play-in to the playoffs, I believe that those two guys are going to be instrumental in getting the Suns to that spot.
Yeah, I would agree, Jimmy. I think they're going to have to be. And, you know, the other thing we sit here and we kind of let this whole Phoenix Suns thing marinate. We think about the team moving forward. I look at, there's a Devin Booker. I think he's going to make, $57 million. $57 million this year. For me, I just need to see more out of Devin Booker. I'm sorry. I need to see more out of Devin Booker. And he and Jalen Green are getting paid a lot of money.
A lot of money.
A lot of dinero. There's a lot of dough in those two individuals. And I just think that Devin Booker, to make that kind of dough, has got to take his game. I know he's, 28, 29 years old.
Yep.
He's like 42 as far as basketball years are concerned. I just need to see more out of Book. I really do. And I think if we took a survey around the Valley and around the NBA is, $57 million aside between you and Jalen Green. Hey, fellas, if we're gonna get to the next, to your point, playoff level, not play-in level.
Correct.
I got to see Devin Booker Take over some games.
Yes.
Let's go, Buck.
That's
Step it
more
up.
than fair. Manuch, that is more than fair.
And if I'm all wet,
Yeah.
602, 260, 0. You know,
You're not wet. You're not wet. No, what you're saying is more than fair. Because of the amount of money now that he's going to be paid.
$57 million a
I
year.
heard you. Yeah. Well, what? How much do we pay? Don't we pay Laz like 38 mil, something like that?
We pay Laz a Mars bar, and he's happy to get the apple with that.
If you were paying me 38 mil, I'd have a Corvette Stingray parked out there. I'm still driving my Volkswagen.
But you see what I'm saying, Jimmy? I mean,
no, I get it.
it's
Manuch.
time, Devin.
Yes, it is.
It is time for you to get to I mean, he's not a superstar. I think we all know that.
Nope.
He's a good, solid basketball player. But
he's a star NBA player.
Okay.
But he is not a superstar.
Exactly.
NBA player.
You know, he's a I'll say all-star. You know,
fringe.
Yeah, fringe all-star. But I mean, between he and Jalen Green, the kind of dinero these guys are making, let's freaking step it up, Devin. You have to. Otherwise, they end up in the 7th spot versus the 6th spot, and who knows? They may or may not make it out of the
play-in.
The play-in, but I mean, I think at least you get to the playoff spot. There's enough here, to your point, to get these to the playoff, and I would soon be competitive in those opening rounds of the playoffs.
If you're in a situation where those guys are making that much money, and you have to understand that when you make the big dough, the spotlight is on you constantly.
And rightfully so.
I agree with that.
And rightfully so.
Yes.
So I think that, hey, you know what? You've got, what's his name's gone that came from the Wizards? He's
Bradley Beal.
Bradley Beal. By the way, don't they owe him some dinero? They owe him like $20 million.
They still paying him. He's still on the books.
He's gone.
I think another year.
He's gone. KD's gone. All that should be washed out. Devin, this is your team. Take the ball and run, lead, and you're going to have to be the dude to go ahead and just step it up in your game and move this bad boy forward.
Hey, one of my favorite all-time wide receivers is going to be our guest. He was one of the fastest wide receivers on the field all time in the NFL. Won a Super Bowl with the Green Bay Packers, later played for the Buffalo Bills as well. We are talking about Don Beebe, and he is going to join us right after we do this ESPN 620 Sports Center update.
It's now time for your Roc and Manuch with Jimmy B's ESPN 620 Sports Center update. I'm Matt Lazarus. The DBacks dropped the opener of their 3-game set against the Athletics 5-2 last night, but Arizona will look to bounce back and even the series tonight from Chase Field. Left-hander Cole Drake, who was acquired by the DBacks in last season's Merrill Kelly trade, is set to make his major league debut tonight for Arizona. First pitch is set for 6:40 with pregame coverage getting underway at 6 on 98.7 FM, also streaming live on the Arizona Sports app. Nobody does happy hour like Twin Peaks. Join them from 3 to 6 p.m. for Michelob Ultra and Bud Light drafts, tequila cocktails, top shelf spirits poured over ice balls, local craft beers, and those famous 29-degree drafts, all paired with scratch-made bites that actually satisfy. When it comes to happy hour, Twin Peaks doesn't play. Twin Peaks eats, drinks, and scenic views.
Let me remind you, Thursdays are where the weekend starts at Twin Peaks Restaurant. Grab an ice-cold Bud Light or a refreshing Michelob Ultra and catch wall-to-wall sports on massive TVs everywhere you look. Big games, cold beer, made from scratch food. Start your weekend early with Bud Light and Michelob Ultra. Thursdays at Twin Peaks. Eats, drinks, and scenic views.
Arizona's headquarters for Toyotas is Right Toyota. Hey, Roc, for my friends at Right Toyota in Scottsdale. You will always find the right deal at Right Toyota. Right Toyota has been driving Arizona's home for years with their amazing service, pricing, and great selections. I encourage you to discover the difference at Right Toyota. Make the right choice, Right Toyota, just off the 101 on Frank Lloyd Wright Boulevard, and always online at righttoyota.com. The right price, the right selection. Check out righttoyota.com.
Bigger fields, bigger events, bigger experiences. Arizona Athletic Grounds. Arizona Athletic Grounds is a 275-acre sports and entertainment destination for athletes, fans, and families. Located in Mesa, AAG is one of the largest multi-sport complexes in the country, with over 475,000 square feet indoors and more than 150 fields and courts. From tournaments to training to cheer, dance, concerts, and corporate events, the grounds does it all. Learn more at azgrounds.com.
When it comes to sushi, reputation matters, and Sushi Brokers Arcadia has built theirs on being the best sushi in Arizona. From traditional rolls to bold fusion creations, like our crowd favorite, Seafood Dynamite, and the must-try sushi pizza. We've got something for everyone. Our famous happy hour is every day from 3 to 6:30 with fresh favorites like the California roll, spicy tuna roll, and the surf and turf roll topped with seared steak. Sushi Brokers Arcadia, 44th Street in Indian School.
Life can throw a lot your way. For some, that includes first episode psychosis, or FEP. It can feel overwhelming, like hearing or seeing things that aren't there, or feeling disconnected from reality. The good news? FEP can be treated. Recovery can include medication, therapy, and support from peers. There are programs across Arizona with people who understand and are ready to walk with you. It all starts with one click. Visit learnmorefep.org. Sponsored by MacForce, working to build healthier communities.
Each week, at least one child dies from heat stroke after being left alone in a car. Often these incidents are not a matter of neglect, but even the most responsible, loving parents are liable to forget a child in the car due to sleep deprivation, stress, or a change in routine, which can lead to fatal results. As temperatures continue to soar, take steps to ensure a child is never forgotten in a hot car. Learn more today by visiting carsforkids.org/hotcars. Remember, that's cars with a K.
Now back to Roc and Manuch with Jimmy B. Now on ESPN 620.
Save play. Yes, Kelly going deep on a nice catch made by the rookie Beebe. He's got Beebe out there. Beebe makes the catch. The fastest ball is going to go the distance. He's in for a touchdown.
Yeah, that's going to bring back some highlights. My greatest Don Beebe highlight is this one. Super Bowl. They're running down the field after an intercepted pass. It might have been Leon Lett against the Cowboys. Nobody is near Leon Lett. Don Beebe runs almost 100 yards and knocks the ball out of his hands. It goes through the end zone, and so there was no touchdown. That is my favorite Don Beebe play. And he is our guest right now. It's great to have you on, Don. Packers wide receiver, Bills wide receiver. Look, you had a wonderful career. By the way, you can follow him on X at Coach Beebe Wins. That's at Coach Beebe Wins. How are you, Don?
How you doing, Don?
I'm doing great, guys. How you guys doing?
It's great.
Doesn't it get longer and longer? It's 100 yards. I thought it was like 250 yards before you caught up with Leon Lett. It gets longer and longer every year, right, Don?
It's funny you say that because I was thinking the same thing when he said 100 yards. I was like, man, that gets longer and longer every time I talk to somebody.
When you see that play, is that look, I know you caught touchdown passes, great, you had great receptions, won a Super Bowl, but in your mind, is that still your best ever play?
And isn't it funny how that's how we remember
Yes.
number 8, Don Beebe?
Well, me personally, no, not at all. My most memorable play for me personally was the first time I ever got a pass thrown my way my rookie year was a 63-yard bomb by Kelly against the Oilers in the Astrodome and in 1989. So, I mean, that was kind of a great way to break into the NFL. But obviously, wherever I go, and I'm headed down to Houston here in a couple of days, and and Houston is right in Texas, obviously, and so there's going to be a lot of fans that watch that, Cowboy fans. So it all comes up no matter where I go, guys. There's no question about that.
Don, you had just a phenomenal career, and now they're making the life story of Run for Glory. I've been tracking this and watching as it comes together. You got your son Chad is playing a young Don Beebe, talk about this movie, how it's coming about. And I believe it's going to be released in, 2027, March 2027, somewhere in that area?
Yeah. So they're talking about the release of February, March. I'll be honest with you guys. I never thought I'd be a book guy or a movie guy. I always just look at I was just a guy on a team trying to win Super Bowls. But, it's a faith-based movie. God has done an amazing job in my life as far as opening doors. I just happen to walk through those and listen. And to see how things unfolded, I should have never been drafted. And only playing 2 years of college football and one at Chadron State that at that time was NAI Division II, so one of the smallest schools in the country, and then being the team's first pick in the NFL draft in the third round. That's why so many prominent people saying this is a movie. And when people start coming to me to do the movie, I was like, sure, let's do a movie. But you mentioned that, the director asked me if Chad, my son, would play me. And my first response was, well, he's not an actor. And they said, no, he'd be perfect to do you because he was you. He played in the NFL as well. And he's same body structure. He can do the things that I did 30 years ago. And he acts like you and all these things. So I was like, wow, it's kind of intriguing. And I think that's only been done a few times in movie history where the son played the father, but it's the first time, I believe, in movie history where the son's wife played the father's wife. Wow. So my wife is played by Chad's wife as well. So it's pretty cool. And the reason that came about, guys, was I was talking with Chad after he committed to doing it, and he was like, Dad, I'm not an actor, so I'm going to struggle doing these scenes with another woman. So I was like, okay, well, and that's how it all came about. Guys, I got to tell you, those two were so good, and it was just really overwhelming to watch them behind the scenes and on the set, watching those two act out Diane and I's lives. Pretty cool.
And Don, it's got to be surreal. I mean, you have a great story. You and Kurt Warner, great stories. Yeah. His movie was great. We get Kurt on all the time, and Kurt's come out and helped me coach quarterbacks once in a while. And just the humility that in Kurt and in you, I feel so good about, hey, there's so many guys I trained that I said, look, if I can make it, if a Don Beebe or Kurt Warner can make it, if you just stay the course, you can make it. I mean, stranger things have happened. Yep. I mean, so it's just so interesting that the message gets across to so many young men and women that, hey, stranger things have happened.
Well, I always say to young men and young women when I coach girls sports, because I have 3 daughters, so I coach a lot of girls sports. But through the years, I've always said the 2 biggest reasons why people don't make it, and we're talking sports, so this could apply to anything in life. The 2 biggest reasons is, number one, themselves. They don't think they can. And for me, at a very young age, and same thing with Kurt, we had a calling in our life. We knew at a very young age that God had a calling in our lives, but it could be a lot of different things. So you got to get over the hurdle that you think you can. And the next thing is just people are just too lazy. They give up too quick. They're too lazy. They'd rather twiddle their thumbs and play Xbox than get out there and train. And so there's a lot of things that go into. People don't realize how hard you got to work to be great at whatever it is. Yep. And those 2 things keep people from achieving great things in life.
Don Beebe's our guest on the Right Toyota guest line. Okay, one more question about your situation, then we'll move on. I want to know, and you just referenced your rookie 63-yard touchdown pass from Jim Kelly. Yeah. When did the light bulb go on for you, Don, that you knew you could run by NFL defensive backs, all that speed and quickness?
Yeah, so that's a great question. I don't think I've ever had that question before. But so the first time against Houston was like, what just happened? Okay. I'm sitting on the sideline going, what in the world just happened, right? And it was a few weeks later against the Dolphins at home in Rich Stadium that I ran by DB Langford, I think his name was, a corner from Miami, 63-yard bomb, again, touchdown a few weeks later. I think it started thinking in the sense that, okay, this ain't so hard. Okay, so no, it's very hard. But you felt at home that that was my gift, was running. So and in that offense, it was a perfect fit with James Loft on the outside and Andre, I think one of the greatest slot receivers of all time. And then Thurman Thomas, a Hall of Famer and a quarterback Hall of Famer and a great line. So it really was just another piece of the puzzle of that K-Gun offense.
It's also interesting that you wrote the 6 Rings from Nowhere a few years ago, and you've had several devotionals. Don, you look back and now you're coaching at Aurora College. Your mantra in life, I love, guys, here's how I did it. Here's the best way to do it. But your faith proving throughout is really that cornerstone or your foundation.
Yeah, I'm not worthy, guys. I'll be honest with you. I'm just an average guy. God just had a plan for my life. I just followed it. And I've always said true success. I ask guys all the time, kids that I'm coaching, I'm like, what's success? Well, the first thing people think about is money, image, power, all these things. I said, that's not success. I know a lot of people that have those things and they're not happy at all. There's no peace and joy in their life at all. Terrible marriage, terrible relationship with their kids. You just go on and on down that list, right? So I said, first, in Philippians 4:13, and I'm not going to go into a whole sermon here, but I can do all things through Christ who strengthens me is a favorite verse in sports, but it's misconstrued much because the true meaning that Paul meant from that scripture was really in 4:11 and 12 when he said, I've learned to be content. I really believe when you're content with what you do, and in my life where God has me, I'm successful. Great marriage, great relationships and stuff of that nature. And so, I just, I've learned over my life to lean more in that direction than trying to do it myself and all for me. It's not about me.
Don, it's interesting because, I watch a lot of football morning or night. I need therapy sometimes because
I agree.
Being that quarterback, that coach and all that, so I'm up watching all that stuff. So the 30 for 30, the 4 Falls of Buffalo documentary was on about a month ago. So I watch that. I got to get Don on. We got to talk about the movie. And then I looked again. I forgot, Don. You've been to 6 Super Bowls. You won Super Bowl 31 with the Packers, went over the Patriots. Yeah, you spent a year in Carolina. Don, that's just not fair, man. I mean, you went to 6 Super Bowls. And, I mean, you're Bogarting all the Super Bowls. And we almost made it in 1980, got beat by the Chargers in the playoff game. But, I mean, when you think about, I think you and Marc Fleming are a rarity of going to 6 Super Bowls. You won 1. I mean, that's just not fair. But you think about that, brother, you are a blessed man.
I am, I was just actually talking with Marv last weekend. I was up at the Packer Hall of Fame golf thing, and Marv goes every year. And, I think he's 82, 83 to 4, somewhere in there. Quite the unique individual, to be honest with you. So, we share a lot of things in the Super Bowl deal. I was very fortunate to hit 2 great organizations at the right time. It's like buying a stock on its way up, and that was Buffalo and Green Bay. And I was just very fortunate to be a part of those teams. And we just had great organizations, great fans, great players. And what it really taught me as a coach now, looking back on that, what does it take to be a winner? Okay. And I got to tell you, Coach Levy was the best at this. I mean, he understood and Bill Polian how to develop a winning franchise. And boy, they did a phenomenal job. It taught me a lot as a coach.
Where else would you rather be than right here, right now? One of my favorite lines.
And Don, you had you had Jim Kelly and you had Brett Favre. Very different quarterbacks, but what was the similarity or commonality with those 2 quarterbacks?
Oh, man. Very similar. I mean, they were linebackers playing quarterback. I mean, that was their mentality. They were 10 years old playing in the backyard, and there just happened to be 70,000 people watching. And I really don't remember being in the huddle or practice, seeing those 2 guys in a bad mood and screaming and yelling at guys. I mean, it was just fun. They just loved playing the game. And they are the epitome of what every quarterback coming out should look at, how to play that game. Literally 10 years old in the backyard. So the only thing that I would really say that separated the 2 was Favre was a little bit more of making plays outside the pocket, where Jim was strictly a pocket guy.
Mm-hmm.
That was about it. But both had big arms, bravado about them, and just winners.
Don, let me follow up with today's game and the way now that the wide receivers have caught a break because they hardly get touched now. You can barely even chuck them off the line of scrimmage, and you got to let them run free. In your estimation, how would have you done in today's game? And do you like the way now that the game is played?
Well, from a wideout, yeah. I mean, back in the late 80s, 90s, if you're catching, 50, 60 balls, that's a big year.
Yeah,
sure.
Now that's like the third guy's on the team's catching 50 balls. The Buffalo's offense really kind of was the innovator of what today's game is.
Mm-hmm.
That no huddle, 3 wide out, 11 personnel.
The K-gun.
Yeah, exactly. So I always use Favre and Rodgers as two, the West Coast offense of Favre was 21 personnel, 12 personnel, and then came Rodgers, and the West Coast offense was dinking and dunking it to Cobb, and 11 personnel, 10 personnel, even 0 personnel, and 5 wide receivers. So that was unheard of in our day. But so we kind of, that 90s team of Buffalo turned it into what it is today. But no question, I would much rather play today's offense as a wide receiver than back in the 90s, even though I had a lot of fun. Don't get me wrong.
Don, with the 4 Super Bowl losses with the Bills, and then making this movie, winning going to the 2 Super Bowls with the Packers, being the Patriots, losing to the Broncos, what do you try to instill in this movie with that career, with the losses, finally getting a Super Bowl ring, and how is that looking? Not to give the movie away, are you hoping to transcend that into a lesson for people to watch the movie?
Very good question. I'm glad you asked it, because what I really want people to come away from this movie is this. God gave me Leon Letplay for a reason. It wasn't for me. Okay. It was to really pay it forward to so many people that want to quit so early. No, and again, we're talking sports. I'm talking about life.
Sure.
Okay. Because my dream in that Super Bowl was I really had a dream that I thought I was going to catch the pass to win the game at the end of the game to finally win the stupid Super Bowl for Buffalo Bills, right? This is the third loss in a row.
Right.
But no, God gave me Leon Lett, because when I stand on stages like this weekend in Houston, how many people are going to relate to catching a Super Bowl touchdown? Nobody.
Sure.
How many people are going to relate to never give it up? Everybody. I don't care if you're 10 or 90. Everybody can relate to it. So I want people to watch this movie and come away from it that they can do it. Mm-hmm. They can achieve great things in life. And obviously through faith, that's great. If not, just work hard and believe that you can do it. And that's what I want people to come out of this movie.
That's great. I'll let you go on this. Were you always the fastest kid in grade school, junior high, high school, and college?
Where'd that speed develop at, Don?
Well, I've always said this, and I trained athletes for 23 years, speed, right? And when we first started in the late 90s, people were always saying, oh, come on, you can't train somebody to be faster. Well, that's obviously been proven a myth. Of course you can. You could take a 5 flat to a 4.8 or 4.8 to a 4.6 or whatever. Mm-hmm. Taking 2 cents off is not hard, but you have to have a certain genetics, okay, to reach a 4.2 or a 4.3 or even a 4.4 level, okay? And I was just, mom and dad, they were both fast people. I just got all the quick speeds.
Mom and dad were fast folks. There you go.
Yeah, Don, it's always great.
Exactly.
It's always great to catch up. We will definitely get you on. Best of luck at Aurora College. What kind of team is Aurora going to have this year?
Yeah.
I like this team, guys. Okay, we're off the radar, which I love, but I really like this team.
Don, you are welcome on this show anytime. If you're bored someday, just call us, okay? We'll put you on right away.
Appreciate it, guys. Thank you.
Thank you, Don. That's great stuff.
All right.
Don Beebe, everybody, one of the fastest, if not at the time, the fastest wideout in the NFL. Manuch, I thought it was great when he said, and everybody relates to the Leon Lett play.
Sure,
why? Because it happened in the Super Bowl. But he said his best play was rookie year, and he catches a 63-yard bomb.
Well,
that's awesome.
Whether it's your rookie year or preseason or whatever, your first touchdown pass as a rookie, I don't care if it's practice or preseason. You're like, damn,
I'm here.
For real. I'm here. Let's move this forward.
He was presented today by All City Towing. They are Arizona's largest towing company. Hey, look, if you're stranded or if you just need professional transport, All City Towing's got the experience to get the job done. Here's the best part. If you're stuck somewhere, they are open 24/7. That's right. They are there to help you. It is All City Towing. By the way, if you're interested in a new gig, check them out online. It's allcitytowing.com and search careers. Again, that's allcitytowing.com, search careers. It is All City Towing. All right, when we come back, we'll do a little random fact of the day and some football at 50. Roc and Manuch with Jimmy B, ESPN 620.
Game on Peoria. When it's time to eat big, drink cold, and watch every play, make it Big's American Bar and Grill in the P83 district. Big's is serving up huge portions of your favorites. Burgers, wings, nachos, plus a full bar and TVs everywhere you look. And don't miss happy hour Monday through Thursday, 3 to 6:30 p.m. with $2 off well drinks and $2 off domestic drafts, plus daily specials all week long. Bring your friends, grab a seat on the patio, and settle in for the game. Big's American Bar and Grill, where Peoria comes to play, eat, and watch.
Living in the Valley of the Sun means we're always battling the heat on the golf course, at work, or just getting through the day. To stay sharp, you need more than energy. You need hydration. You need Phoenix Hydration Energy, spelled Phoenix, like the city we love. Phoenix gives you clean, natural energy from green tea, plus 3 times the electrolytes of leading sports drinks. No crash, no junk, just pure performance. Grab Phoenix Hydration Energy today at 7-Eleven, Quick Trip, or Circle K. Phoenix Hydration Energy. Rise up.
When hot is not an option, Stay Cool delivers. From patios to warehouses, shops to summer events, Stay Cool's Slim Cool Elite and Cool Cube mobile air coolers deliver more air for less money. They're rust-free and backed by more than 40 years of experience keeping you cool. Available now online at Home Depot, Lowe's, and Tractor Supply. Shipped to the store or right to your door. Visit StayCool-Products.com. Slim Cool Elite and Cool Cube. Get yours today with free shipping and beat the heat.
Are you a dementia caregiver? Perhaps you care for your spouse, family member, or friend. Whoever it is, being a dementia caregiver can build relationships and test them. I'm Bill, and I want to thank you for the care you have provided. I've faced similar situations, so I'm speaking on behalf of the Dementia Society of America, a nonprofit organization. Request our free guide filled with tips on care, planning, and much more. Go to 1-800-DEMENTIA.org or call 1-800-DEMENTIA. Thank you.
Social connection keeps your brain strong. So does a challenge. When you stay socially and mentally active, your mind stays engaged, and you might even lower your risk of dementia. Learn something new, pick up a hobby, or catch up with a friend. Up to 40% of dementia cases could be prevented or delayed by addressing risk factors like loneliness and inactivity of the mind. Explore alz.org/healthy habits for more tips. This message is sponsored by the Alzheimer's Association and the Arizona Department of Health Services.
Across the country, opioid overdose deaths are going down. But in Arizona, they're rising. And it's not just opioids. Deaths linked to meth, cocaine, and kratom are increasing too. This is a crisis, but it's one we can change. Honest conversations about drug risks can save lives. Be part of the solution. Visit TalkNowAZ.com for tools and resources. Sponsored by the Substance Awareness Coalition Leaders of Arizona.
Now back to Roc and Manuch with Jimmy B. Now on ESPN 620.
We had so much fun having Don Beebe on the show. Manuch, that was a great get. You need to just call him from time to time throughout the season.
Hey, every once in a while, I'm mixing a completion.
Man,
you know,
amazing.
Get a good get like that with the Run for Glory. That movie should be out, what do you say, February, March of 2027.
Yeah, I'm looking forward to watching that. Let's do a little random fact. What do you got?
This is very interesting. During the 1943 NFL season, the Pittsburgh Steelers and Philadelphia Eagles merged into a single team named
the Steagles.
The Steagles, because so many of their players had left to serve in World War II. So they combined to have just the one team. So that was the Steagles that were making it happen. 1943.
Something like that.
Right in the thick of the war.
Yeah. That's an amazing fact when you think about it, because all the players had left for service, and the only people they had left, and they could only form one team, and they called it the Steagles.
Well, I think that was
nuts.
In the other movie with the women's baseball.
Oh, yeah.
The movie Tom Hanks did.
League of Their Own.
That was great, too, because that was a true story.
Yeah, it is, yeah.
To see some of that.
Yeah.
All right, Jimmy, let's get to a little football at 50.
I'm ready, brother. Go for it.
Interesting. The top 3 quarterbacks chosen in the National Football League, they did this little survey on NFL.com. and they're predicting when Mendoza, Simpson, and Carson Beck could be starting, right?
Mm-hmm.
So they talk about, you got Fernando Mendoza.
Yeah.
And you got basically Kirk Cousins.
Yes.
You got, basically him kind of holding the fort, somewhat what Marcus Mariota did with Jaden Daniels.
Okay.
So what they're saying, hey, look, let Marcus Mariota let basically Fernando Mendoza kind of get his land legs about him, kind of watch. But they're saying that the future is now in Las Vegas.
Wow.
That they need to go ahead and start him by week 5.
Wow.
So he can kind of see, he can kind of ease into it. And if I'm not mistaken, I can imagine Eli Manning started about the 7th or 8th game of the year too.
Oh, when he took Warner's spot?
I think
it was, I think they were 6-4. So maybe it was game 10. But yeah, because Kurt Warner had a winning record there, and then they benched him.
Now, for Ty Simpson for the LA Rams, he might get a start here, and only if Matthew Stafford gets hurt. So you might see a spot. They say spot start in week 18, basically because the Rams have clinched their division or their playoff spot. So maybe you give Matthew Stafford a break. You start him, and what they're saying that in 2028, not 2027. 2028.
Yeah.
He looks to be the full-time starter.
Wow.
Then you got the Arizona Cardinals, 65th overall pick in the 3rd round, one Carson Beck.
All right, hold on a second. Let me sit down here before I fall off my chair. Go ahead.
Well, they're saying the presumed starter obviously is Jacoby Brissett. Gardner Minshew's the backup.
Yep.
So they're saying that those two should basically hold the fort down. Now, what they're predicting is that the starting of week 13.
Ooh.
Yeah, they're saying week 13. And main reason being is they feel the Cardinals will need all hands on deck, all veteran hands on deck to be competitive or have a chance to win 3, 4, or 5 games. Don't really want to put them into that kind of a situation. So what they're saying is that the development project that is Carson Beck, that they're insinuating maybe we don't play him too soon, and where Fernando Mendoza, first pick overall, plays a lot quicker. So they're saying basically that by week 13, you got Drew Allar from Penn State with the Pittsburgh Steelers. This is interesting.
Okay.
With Aaron Rodgers there, Will Howard there, and Mason Rudolph basically there. They're saying that he might spot start, but he won't be in the mix until 2027. So Allar, just sit back.
Relax.
Enjoy that clipboard.
Watch Aaron Rodgers.
Sure it's all about. And then with Kate Klubnik, the 4th round pick by the Jets.
Yep.
Not highly unlikely that he starts at all this year.
Wow.
When you got Geno Smith and Bailey Zappi as a backup.
Bailey Zappi.
They're also saying maybe Russ Wilson comes out of the booth.
Oh,
so the top 5 quarterbacks came out of the draft. Their potential days of starting or not.
When we come back, former Chicago Bears head coach Marc Trestman is going to join us. He's got a new book out called Teaching the Game. So we're going to get into that with him, and he is coming up next. Roc and Manuch with Jimmy B, ESPN 620.
Well, it's official. My friends have all switched to Pure Talk because I told them they could save a bunch of money on a super reliable high-speed network with unlimited data. And because they're my friends, they trust me. As for the rest of you, well, Pure Talk understands that even though you might like me, you're not just going to take my word for it, nor should you. For that reason, and for a very limited time, Pure Talk is offering any of their plans for just $15 a month for the first 3 months, including their top-tier unlimited plan that normally sells for $65 a month. Think of it like a test drive, a super simple way to save $150 while you kick the tires on Pure Talk's blazing fast network, and a fine way to see for yourself why I switched from big wireless, along with a few 100,000 of my closest friends. Dial pound 250, say Mike Rowe, and be connected to Pure Talk's friendly U.S. customer service team. Again, dial pound 250, say Mike Rowe, and let the savings begin.
This is a special alert to all Americans who own a vehicle with less than 200,000 miles with an auto warranty about to expire or with no warranty coverage at all. Due to a decline in the economy, CarShield is announcing a low-cost month-to-month vehicle protection plan that is now available to the public to save any driver out-of-pocket expenses on future auto repairs. Call now to find out how you can pay almost nothing for covered auto repairs. Yes, you heard that correctly. Pay almost nothing for covered auto repairs. An open phone line has been established for all drivers to call for a free quick quote. Call 800-330-8323 now. Drivers who are covered will not have to pay for covered repairs again. This protection plan is at an all-time low. Additionally, drivers who activate this vehicle protection today will also receive free roadside assistance, free towing, and car rental options at no additional cost. Call us for your free quick quote today. 800-330-8323. That's 800-330-8323. What do you have to lose? Call 800-330-8323. Again, 800-330-8323.
Let me remind you, Thursdays are where the weekend starts at Twin Peaks Restaurant. Grab an ice-cold Bud Light or a refreshing Michelob Ultra and catch wall-to-wall sports on massive TVs everywhere you look. Big games, cold beer, made from scratch food. Start your weekend early with Bud Light and Michelob Ultra. Thursdays at Twin Peaks. Eats, drinks, and scenic views.
Join the team at All City Towing, Arizona's largest towing company and leader in roadside service. We're hiring dispatchers, call takers, lot attendants, drivers, and customer service pros ready to grow with us. You'll enjoy state-of-the-art equipment, consistent schedules, full health benefits, a strong 401k match, employer life insurance, and a monthly fuel allowance. Take your career to the next level. Apply today at allcitytowing.com. All City Towing, where your future is always moving forward.
KTAR AM Phoenix, Arizona's home for the worldwide leader in sports, is ESPN 620. Now back to Roc and Manuch with Jimmy V. Now on ESPN 620.
Welcome back, everybody. We roll for another hour, all the way until 4 o'clock. Really looking forward to having this conversation now. Marc Trestman, you probably recognize the name, former head coach with the Chicago Bears, also a Canadian Football League head coach as well, and an assistant throughout the NFL. You can follow him on X at Coach Trestman. Again, that's at Coach Trestman. Coach, it's great to have you on the show. You are out with a new book. We could not wait to talk to you. The book called Teaching the Game. How long did it take you to put this bad boy together?
First of all, thank you guys for having me on. I really appreciate you reaching out to me. It means a lot. I left the Chargers in March of 25, decided, I wanted to move on and get out of the game. But I wanted to say thank you to the game. So I sat down and typed for 18 months. I had a tremendous amount of help and encouragement from people that, two forwards by Tony Dungy and Steve Young and others on the back you'll see. But guys encouraged me to keep pressing on. And I wrote it as a thank you note to all the coaches and players that I've had the privilege of working with. And just really proud of it. As we all know in football, there's a lot of different ways to coach it. There's a lot of different ways to run plays and so forth. But I wrote down what I thought was best, and I hope it leads to a lot of questions and differences of opinion and dialogue that'll allow coaches at all levels and players at all levels to get better and the fans to get to know the game a little bit better.
Marc, it's Manuch, and always great to catch up with you. And I got the book this weekend. I went through it like 90 times, Coach. I'm dog-earing this and underlining all this, and I really appreciate what you did as far as detailing players, the quarterbacks, the receivers, the coach-player relationship, how you dress at practice. I mean, you went on and on. I love it because today's football player, these youngsters, even the flag girls, need to know the right way to play the game. If you do it the right way is a successful way, is how I take away from that.
Yeah, like I said, there's a lot of different ways to do it. I thought the best way to start was, I think that regardless of what position or side of the ball you coach on, or play on. I think it's really important to see it through the eyes of the quarterback, and I know you know that, Dan. And that so the first 250 pages are really, standing behind the quarterback and trying to understand all the things that he goes through, from the meeting room, coach-player relationship, out on the practice field, the week before the game, between the 40 seconds between each play, and then the science of the throwing motion. And then we get to, as you can tell by the book, a lot of different aspects of situational football. But I could have written 1,000 pages. We got it down to 630. But I think if somebody looks at the table of contents, there's something for everybody. And as I said, I didn't really write the book. My experiences from the players and coaches allowed me to write the book. So I was the typist and the conduit, but I'm not really the author.
Coach, it's interesting. You being a former quarterback and teaching the quarterbacks, coaching the quarterbacks, fundamentals, mechanics, all the above. I truly believe that, until you've played that particular position, now you can coach it, but you have got to been down that road, understand it, to bring in, I think, the finer details of, coaching quarterbacks, been there, done that in order to help them along. I feel in so many areas as far as understanding, playing, and actually eating that position is what I like to say.
Yeah, I think that, the main emphasis, as you saw in the part of the book, which I think is overlooked, and I did it for many years as a coach, but the number one job of the quarterback is to protect the football. And he does that, from the center snap on the way to the back, confines of the pocket, location of throw, and exiting the pocket. And if he doesn't protect the football, you have no chance. That's his number one job, and I talk about that a lot. And then the second job that he has, which is really key, is he needs to live for the next play, because if a quarterback gets hurt, guys get paid all this money now in college and in professional football, the team's got less of a chance to survive and get to the playoffs. So I think that whatever position you coach, you need to understand the relevance of the quarterback and the importance of keeping him safe in practice and being able to complete a throwing motion, not only in practice, but during the course of the game to keep him safe.
So, Coach, before I got your book, I got to share this story because I preach that all the time. My very first day of being a Buffalo Bills quarterback as a rookie, Chuck Knox comes into the room. Coach Knox, great coach for many, many years, the Rams, the Bills in Seattle. It's the very first quarterback meeting. So I'm there. Joe Ferguson's there, a couple of us rookies, and this is before the mini camp. He says, look, there's three things about you quarterbacks. Number one, take care of the ball. Okay, number one, Number two, you don't have to throw a touchdown. You don't have to throw a touchdown every play. Number three, it's okay to throw the ball away and take a sack. And number four, it's okay to punt. And I got to tell you what, Coach, I'm like, wow, it's okay if I don't succeed on every play. And the one thing he also said that you just said it, I tell my guys, live for the next play. Get the ball outside on an out, miss them deep up the field, on and on and on. So your language is a language which I relate to these kids nowadays. They've never heard that language as far as ball security with the quarterback.
Yeah, I mean, living for the next play for a young quarterback is developing trust. I tell every quarterback in the mini, the only one question you have to answer when you leave the practice field and you leave the game is, do my teammates and coaches trust me? And that means you're taking care of the football. If you can answer yes, you're probably going to play a lot of football.
Well, not only that is understanding the position of being a quarterback. And it's so interesting, all the things you bring up. I tell these young guys, there might be 25 or 30 thought processes you have from the end of one play to the end of the next play. Could be more than that. I did it one time, Coach, but my K-State math didn't quite add up. But there's so much for that quarterback to understand. And then you talked about during the week, but the one thing I really appreciate what you said in the book is that the relationship with your quarterback coach / offensive coordinator week in and week out, to have that trust, but to have a relationship of understanding each other and where you want to go with the game plan.
Yeah, I mean, it's, I always tell young coaches, as soon as the plays become more important than the people, you're going to lose the people. The relationships, as you well know, are as critical a factor in team success as anything. Your players have to know you love them, you care for them, you listen to them, you can be vulnerable with them, and that's how relationships and authentic relationships are built, and you get rid of imposter syndrome, and you get down to what's really important: competency-based trust, which is your ability to help them master their craft, and then vulnerability-based trust, which is your ability to lead them. And that starts with your own vulnerability.
I found it interesting that you have Tony Dungy and Steve Young doing the forwards. So I have a Steve Young question for you, okay? Steve Young was one of the best NFL quarterbacks of all time. Please, Marc, explain to the listening audience why he does not get the recognition that the Marinos, the Kellys, now we move into Josh Allen and the other guys, when he really was the top dog in the NFL for those seasons with the 49ers.
Yeah, I mean, we have to remember that he didn't even start till he was 29 years old. Mm-hmm. And over 7 years, he was the best quarterback in the game, and really, kind of one of the first dual threats, so to speak, although, you as a coordinator, you really don't want your quarterback to be able to run. What you want him to be able to do is get you off the hook on a couple of third downs, so you can be in the high 40s in third down conversion and extend drives. I mean, that's what a coordinator really hopes he has in a quote dual threat. But as accurate a passer as there ever been, I don't know that he doesn't give it the credit. He's in the Hall of Fame. He won a league MVP. But he didn't play for as long as some of these guys have played. But
right.
Arguably, the NFL community has given him the credit. I mean, he's in the Hall of Fame and well deserved. He's one of the most accomplished people off the field. And what you got to love about Steve is he's a great family guy. He's built a whole business and a career outside of football. He's a very philanthropic guy, and he's just a great human being.
Coach, it's also interesting you talk about the quiet mind, the calm before the storm. So just indulge me, because I go through this, I go bingo, bingo, bingo with all the stuff that you put out there. And one of the things that, training Brock Purdy since 9th grade and training Tyler Shuck since 8th grade and Bryce Perkins and on and on and on, the kids I've trained is, I said, look, guys, you've got to be the calm amongst the storm. If something goes bad, ignore it or persevere through it, but breathe and just understand you can't get caught up in all the noise and motion. So I'm glad you addressed the quiet mind in your book for that quarterback that they have to have. And if you're a hyper guy, get it out of your system and then just kind of gear down so you can form this function of running an offense.
Yeah, I mean, I think the number one thing when I say quiet mind is the number one job of his coach is to allow him to play with a quiet mind and use his neurological makeup and his ability to see things, his spatial awareness, all the things that go into a quarterback being able to play in the chaos of a game. Some of that is talent and you're born with, as you well know, but a lot of it is because your coaches have taken a very complex science and made it very simple so you can perform and have, the ability to slow the game down, as Bill Walsh would say, and I talk about in the book, it's functional intelligence, the ability to have all this information and all this stuff going on the outside and on the inside, yet you're able to slow it all down and be able to play in the chaos of a game, and that's playing with a quiet mind.
How do you recognize that the QB that you're about to coach can do that? How quickly does that light go on for you?
I don't know. I mean, that's a hard question. I think it's all exposure. I mean, I always feel that players make the team in practice. They don't make it, in a half of a preseason game with guys they haven't practiced with and so forth. I think it's all part of it. I mean, there's so many qualities. Number one, accuracy and being able to protect the football can get you to the playoffs. It starts there. But then, as you well know, there's so many intangibles and the ability to just take on so much situation. In fact, you kind of brought it up, Dan, that 40-second, I did a whole chapter on the 40-second between plays that really isn't talked about what goes on in a quarterback's mind. And it's so complicated. There's so much information, and to be able to sort it out, define it, and and take away what's the most important thing in such a short period of time. I mean, that's why very few guys can do it, and even less than that can do it at a very high level and consistent level over a career.
Hey, trust me, Mark, I took out the abacus. I had the slide rule. I mean, I did the K-State math. I mean, I did everything. Hey, as we let you go, as Jimmy talked about, Steve Young and Justin Herbert as a coach, you've had some outstanding quarterbacks that you've coached. So if there's three things, the best of the best that you've coached, is there three commonalities in those outstanding quarterbacks that sticks out to Marc Trestman?
Well, they all are accurate. I mean, you just can't play a quarterback who's not accurate. And as you know, that means you got to complete most of them against zone coverage, which, every quarterback now with the way they play the game should be in the high 60s and low 70s. And they got to be able to be close to 60%, 56 to 60%. And man, they got to throw the ball on the black of the plate, basically. So it's accuracy. But, I think there's something about the great ones. They know they're great, and they've been given a gift that very few have. And I talk about it a little bit of a book. It's not, it can be religious, but it doesn't have to be. There is a spiritual aspect to the quarterback that he knows he's been given a gift to do something that so very few on this planet are able to do. And I think that is motivating to them to do the right thing, to be the best that they can be, and be the best teammate they can be. And that's what I've noticed about quarterbacks more than anything. They're the best teammate on the team in most cases, at least as good as anybody else. They're able to transcend the locker room, not just the line group, not just the quarterback group. And they're able to create, a trustworthiness within the group, and where the team trusts them and gives them hope. That's a nuance that, as you know, you just can't put your finger on it. But accuracy, protecting the ball, and then this hit factor that we really can't explain.
Coach, I will continue to preach what you're saying and writing. I really appreciate that. What's the best way for a lot of our listeners to get the book for teaching the game?
Yeah. Thank you for asking. The best way would be to go to the website that we set up, teachingthegame.com. It'll tell you a little bit more about the book. And then there's two places to order: through the publisher, which was the publisher for Bill Walsh's last book, Finding the Winning Edge. That's Coach's Choice. And then through Amazon as well.
If you ever get out here, Marc, please give me a call. We'll have a couple of geeks that'll get together and talk for hours about quarterbacking 101.
Wait, you got to invite them, bring them in the show.
We will. You're going to bring them in the show. We'll go through the book. But I appreciate you putting this down in writing. For those of us that train these young men, and even some of the women I train, the girls that are out there, to say, hey, look, if you don't believe me, believe this guy. Of the other 90 individuals that this coach has been preaching to for so many years. So thank you, number one, for writing the book. And thank you, number two, for coming on. Then we'll talk a little football as the season goes on, if you don't mind.
Thanks. I'll be happy to join you. And I would like to add, the last chapter of the book is one of my favorites. It's a leadership chapter. I've been teaching a leadership course at the University of Miami Law School for the last 5 years. And I think for any coach, young coach, player, it's a good review on some of the fundamentals necessary to lead the people that we coach and to be the leader you want to be on the field. And because in today's world where you can press send and influence others, everybody needs to learn how to lead regardless of their role in the program.
Amen.
Thank you, Marc. It was great having you on the show, pal.
Thanks,
Thank you
Coach.
So much. Yep, there you go. Marc Trestman, everybody. Yep, that was great. Great get today, Manuch. I can't believe I've said that twice to you.
Well,
Trestman and Don Beebe.
I met Marc when he was offensive coordinator with the Cardinals. I've
Yeah.
known him for many, many, many years.
Yeah.
I've always followed him, admired him for his OC and coaching.
Mm-hmm.
And then I said, hey, Marc, how you doing these days? I know he quit the Chargers a couple years ago.
Right, yeah.
He said, I got a book coming out. He did give me a couple weeks. I'll send you the book, and then we can talk about the book. And I went through the book. I was like a kid in a candy store, going through the quarterbacking section, the leadership section.
Yeah.
And I say that, I use this, and you can't preach leadership and quarterbacking enough for today's individuals in an instant gratification scenario. The quarterbacks have just got to manage the game and go through the game and not try to get it all like instant breakfast, and try to get it all done in one play.
There you go. Hey, that segment presented today by Venezia's Pizza. When it's game day, it's Venezia's. They make it easy. 7 locations across the valley, and you can always order online, and they deliver. It's Venezias.com. Once again, Venezias.com. Coming right back. Roc and Manuch with Jimmy B. ESPN 620.
Now open in North Scottsdale, it's the Orangedale Lounge. ODs, right off Thompson Peak and Bell, next to Bash's. Your new favorite dive bar has arrived. Cold drafts, chill vibes, always affordable prices, and the OD Mug Club, a one-of-a-kind membership you won't find anywhere else. No frills, just great people, ice-cold drinks, and a bar that feels like it's always been there. Follow at OD Scottsdale and get the scoop at orangedalelounge.com. Orangedale Lounge. Dive in and drink up.
Rock for WhiteToyota.com. At Wright Toyota, they'd like you to get to know them. Their goal is to make buying your next vehicle the kind of experience that earns your recommendation to family and friends. They invite you to use all of their innovative web tools on WrightToyota.com. So if you're looking for a new or pre-owned Toyota, head to their interactive website at WrightToyota.com. The right price, the right selection, all at WrightToyota.com.
Hey, Arizona State football fans, London is calling. The Sun Devils are headed across the pond to face Kansas in the inaugural Union Jack Classic, September 19th at Wembley Stadium. It's the first college football game ever played there, and you should be part of it. For tickets, hospitality, and travel packages, visit UnionJackClassic.com or contact the Sun Devil ticket office. Join Coach Dillingham, Sparky, and the Sun Devils in London. Forks up. When it comes to your roof, you don't want to mess around. And Arizona homeowners and business owners have known that for over a decade. State 48 Roofing is Arizona's #1 referred roofer. Residential, commercial, they do it all. And they've been doing it right here in the Valley for over 10 years. Protect your home, protect your business. And hey, keep your roof sexy with State 48 Roofing. Visit state48roofing.com. or call 480-268-4509. State 48 Roofing, Arizona's most trusted roof.
We get it. A meal shouldn't cost you nearly $20. And we agree. At Venezia's Pizzeria, lunch or dinner for under $10 is still a thing. And for an even sweeter deal, stop in and grab a Slice Rewards card. Get a stamp for every qualifying Slice special. 10 visits, 1 free qualifying special. Simple. And every Tuesday, we double your stamps. That's your free pizza twice as fast. Venezia's Pizzeria, a family tradition with great rewards.
Living and having fun in the hot summer sun can turn deadly when mixed with stimulants. Stimulant drugs raise body temperature, impair the brain's ability to regulate heat, and makes it harder for the heart to cope with extreme heat. Studies show 1 in 5 heat-related deaths have involved meth, a stimulant that overheats the body, putting users at higher risk. Be aware and stay safe. Meth and heat is a deadly mix. Visit thenewmeth.com.
Sponsored by the Substance Awareness Coalition Leaders of Arizona.
Now back to Roc and Manuch with Jimmy B. Now on ESPN 620.
All right, everybody, welcome back. And we roll till 4 o'clock. I thought it was great when I asked him about Steve Young. And he said, look, the guy really only was a starter for 7 years, but he was the best quarterback in the NFL at that time. People forget that, he did win an MVP, and he won a Super Bowl and threw 6 touchdown passes in that Super Bowl, Manuch.
You're referring to our last guest, Marc Trestman, who had a chance to coach him in the 95 and 96 season. So, yeah, he did. It was a short time. He had a lot of success in a very short period because he had a guy named Joe Montana in front of him getting the job done.
Who Steve Young replaced. Montana went to Kansas City. Okay, here we go. Manuch has been waiting on this one all day because he disagrees with this particular poll. We'll let him explain. It is the top 10 NFL quarterbacks, this compiled by ESPN's Jeremy Fowler.
Yeah, what it is that they did I think that executives, coaches, scouts ranked the top NFL quarterbacks for 2026. They looked at the top 10. They all threw it in their blender and they pretty much said, okay, who are the guys that they felt were the top 10 quarterbacks. So let me give you what they put out as far as their top 10 were concerned. So number 1, they had Josh Allen of the Buffalo Bills. Number 2, they had Patrick Mahomes with the Kansas City Chiefs. And then number 3, as they kind of go, they had Matthew Stafford as number 3. Number 4, they had Joe Burrow of the Cincinnati Bengals. Number 5, Lamar Jackson for the Ravens. And number 6, they had Dak Prescott for the Dallas Cowboys. Number 7, Justin Herbert, who we just had Marc Trestman on, who coached with Justin Herbert for a couple of years. Number 8, Drake May of the Patriots. Number 9, Jared Goff of the Detroit Lions. Number 10, Caleb Williams. That'd be Laz's boy. And then they had a few honorable mentions that were down here. Sam Darnold for the Seahawks. Jaden Daniels of the Washington Commanders. Jordan Love, the Green Bay Packers. Brock Purdy, San Francisco 49ers. Baker Mayfield, who really fell off last year a little bit from Tampa Bay.
Mm-hmm.
And then Trevor Lawrence, the Jaguars. Jalen Hurts of the Philadelphia Eagles, also receiving votes. Bo Nix, Daniel Jones, and C.J. Stroud. So I looked at that and I said, well, I'm gonna allow you guys to do your top 10. I got my top 10. I looked at the way I kind of rank these guys as guys that have had recent experience, recent success in all the things that they're doing. Now, there's a couple that are interchangeable here. I had Patrick Mahomes as my number 1.
Okay.
He's got a couple Super Bowl victories under his belt, a lot of success. Last year got hurt and they fell short. Matthew Stafford, who's been at the top of the top the last couple of years, has a Super Bowl victory, has taken the Rams to the NFC Championship the last couple of years. And then I have Josh Allen. We're still waiting for Josh Allen to win that AFC title. He's got all the talent in the world. He can run, he can throw. Those are some of the things you look forward to with some of these. So I just think we're still waiting. But heads up, Buffalo Bill fans, that window's closing.
Mm-hmm.
If Josh Allen, I think he's going to his 9th year, can't get this done soon, then that window will close and we'll have to refurbish from there. Lamar Jackson, I think that if that's the most overdue quarterback to take his team to a Super Bowl, it's Lamar Jackson. Number 5, I've got Brock Purdy at number 5. He's taking his Niners to 2 NFC Championship games, a Super Bowl. If you look at all the stats, folks, he's one of the leading stats guys.
He is.
In all of the National Football League, of all the passers, all the quarterbacks. He leads in QBR. He leads in percentage. There's like 8 or 9 different categories that Brock Purdy leads. So I can't believe that those managers, coaches, et cetera, would make him honorable mention. So I got Brock Purdy at 5. How about Sam Darnold? Talk about what have you done for me lately? What he did with the Vikings? What he did coming back to win the Super Bowl for the Seattle Seahawks? Then I have Joe Burrow at number 7. Then I have Dak Prescott at number 8. What have you done for me lately, Dak Prescott? Maybe the most overrated out of all these polls. Then number 9, I've got Justin Herbert. We're still waiting for him to break out. Has the size, the talent, and the speed. And last but not least, I see an up-and-comer in Drake May. How well he performed last year. Short sample size for Drake May in 2 years to go and take his team to the Super Bowl. So a little bit of a mix on my end as far as my top 10.
All right, I'm in disagreement with a lot, and because I select what my eyes see. So number 1 to me is Joe Burrow, Cincinnati. And the reason I say that, been to a Super Bowl. Josh Allen has not been to a Super Bowl. Joe Burrow beats Josh Allen every time they seem to play. And secondly, or I should say, and thirdly, he is on a team, meaning the Cincinnati Bengals, that have not been very good. It's him and then a bunch of okay players. Then I go with Mahomes. Now, there's no reason to even make a case for Patrick Mahomes because he is that good. Then I go to Stafford because he has won a Super Bowl. He has won an MVP. Then I have Josh Allen. Why do I have Josh Allen there? Because his teams have been really pretty good, yet he can't get them over the hump. That's where I have Josh Allen. I tossed in Drake May then with New England with what I had seen from him and what he accomplished this past season. Then you were right, Manuch, on Lamar Jackson. who is really talented, but seems that he just gets beat in playoff games. Then I went for Sam Darnold, and I'm with you. Back-to-back seasons of 14 wins and including a Super Bowl, and the dude still gets hardly any credit. I went then to Baker Mayfield, and the reason maybe that he has fallen down this list is what you said. Last year was a downer performance for him. However, his team was beset with injuries, including his wide receivers. He was playing with rookies and guys off the shelf, off the taxi squad most of the time. And my last is Jordan Love. I have Brock Purdy right after Jordan Love. Jordan Love is a stud player at QB. His problem is staying healthy.
And you know what? Brock Purdy's beat every one of those individuals.
He has.
You've talked about. Laz, just real quick here before we go to break, bud.
Yeah, we don't have much time here before we go to break, guys. But one thing I will say, if you look at all three of our lists, that 2024 NFL draft is going to go down as one of the best quarterback drafts of all time. And I know there's a lot of other good ones, but of my generation, I think that's the best I've seen so far. Anyways, we'll go through this quickly because we do have to get to an update, and with one and only Tyler Drake coming up after that. But one, I have Josh Allen. He's just a stud. He's the most capable quarterback in the league with what he can do with his arm and legs. 2, Joe Burrow. I think he's the most naturally talented quarterback in the league. 3, Patrick Mahomes. We've seen what he can do. He's one of the best ever, and he's still very young. 4, I have the one, the only, Caleb Williams.
Yeah, whatever.
Because the only other guy who can do things like him and make plays out of nowhere is Patrick Mahomes.
Go ahead, move on.
So we'll see once he wins his MVP this year. You guys will be moving up.
Let's go.
Matthew Stafford at 5. Lamar Jackson at 6. Herbert at 7 because of his playmaking and passing ability. At 8, I have Bo Nix. I think you guys are sleeping on him a little bit.
I like that. Yeah.
And then 9, I have the rest of this 2024 draft class. 9, Drake May. 10, Jaden Daniels.
Okay.
And those two are interchangeable, but I think that whole top 10 are very, very talented quarterbacks.
They are.
You can move them all around however you want. I think when it's all said and done, number 1 will be Caleb Williams.
You know what's interesting is that Brock Purdy's the most efficient quarterback out of all those. Every one of those, his numbers blow everybody away. He's been to a Super Bowl, 2 NFC championship games, and everybody doesn't continues to slide it. But as far as Brock's concerned, that's okay. He'll just go ahead and make that chip a boulder and go to another NFC championship.
Well, he's
game.
always had a stout offensive line.
Whatever.
The Shanahan effect. He's got Christian McCaffrey. They're always loaded up on receivers. And that's no excuse. You still need a good quarterback to make it work.
Yes.
But guys like Allen and Mahomes have never had as star-studded of a cast.
What are you
wait,
no.
Once
I'll
Tyreek
argue
Hill
that
left,
point. I'll argue that.
Once Tyreek Hill left, who has Mahomes had to throw to other than a tight end?
Let's go to break.
Okay.
He's been ridiculous.
Tell me.
Let's go. Unbelievable.
When we come back, Tyler Drake is going to join us, Arizona sports writer and editor. We're going to dive into which guys are going to show up at camp. Right now, let's get you to an ESPN 620 Sports Center update.
Caleb Williams for MVP, baby. It's now time for your Roc and Manuch with Jimmy B's ESPN 620 Sports Center update. I'm Matt Lazarus. The DBacks dropped the opener of their 3-game series against the Athletics 5-2 last night, but Arizona will look to bounce back and even the series tonight from Chase Field. Left-hander Cole Drake, who was acquired by the DBacks in last season's Merrill Kelly trade, is set to make his major league debut tonight for Arizona. First pitch is set for 6:40 with pregame coverage getting underway at 6 on 98.7 FM, also streaming live on the Arizona Sports app. Nobody does happy hour like Twin Peaks. Join them from 3 to 6 p.m. for Michelob Ultra and Bud Light drafts, tequila cocktails, top shelf spirits poured over ice balls, local craft beers, and those famous 29-degree drafts. All paired with scratch-made bites that actually satisfy. When it comes to happy hour, Twin Peaks doesn't play. Twin Peaks, eats, drinks, and scenic views.
When it's game time in the Valley, you know what time it is. It's Twin Peaks time. Head to Twin Peaks with 5 Valley locations and massive screens everywhere you look. From basketball, baseball, to hockey, fights, and more, there's no better place to catch every play and all the action. Bud Light is a proud partner of sports fans everywhere. Twin Peaks, eats, drinks, scenic views. When hot is not an option, Stay Cool delivers. From patios to warehouses, shops to summer events, Stay Cool's Slim Cool Elite and Cool Cube mobile air coolers deliver more air for less money. They're rust-free and backed by more than 40 years of experience keeping you cool. Available now online at Home Depot, Lowe's, and Tractor Supply. Shipped to the store or right to your door. Visit staycool-products.com. Slim Cool Elite and Cool Cube. Get yours today with free shipping and beat the heat.
When tragedy strikes, the impact is immediate and devastating. That's when the 100 Club of Arizona steps in, providing financial assistance, guidance, and emotional support to the families of public safety officers injured or killed in the line of duty. They also invest in mental health resources, injury prevention, and scholarships for the children of first responders. Every day, Arizona's public safety professionals put their lives on the line. The 100 Club of Arizona has their back. Learn more at 100club.org.
Join the team at All City Towing, Arizona's largest towing company and leader in roadside service. We're hiring dispatchers, call takers, lot attendants, drivers, and customer service pros ready to grow with us. You'll enjoy state-of-the-art equipment, consistent schedules, full health benefits, a strong 401k match, employer life insurance, and a monthly fuel allowance. Take your career to the next level. Apply today at allcitytowing.com. All City Towing, where your future is always moving forward.
Let me remind you, Thursdays are where the weekend starts at Twin Peaks Restaurant. Grab an ice-cold Bud Light or a refreshing Michelob Ultra and catch wall-to-wall sports on massive TVs everywhere you look. Big games, cold beer, made from scratch food. Start your weekend early with Bud Light and Michelob Ultra. Thursdays at Twin Peaks. Eats, drinks, and scenic views.
Before you fly, take a trip to your local MVD office or authorized third-party provider with your required documents and get the new AZ Travel ID with the Gold Star for your new driver's license or ID. Starting May 2025, this new AZ Travel ID gets you through TSA security checkpoints. It's quick and easy. Think of it as your license to fly. Learn how to get your new ID at aztravelid.com. Sponsored by ADOT in partnership with the Arizona Broadcasters Association and this station.
Now back to Roc and Manuch with Jimmy B. Now on ESPN 620.
Shotgun set for Brissett on second and goal to 9. Back to throw. Sends a pass to the left side on a back shoulder throw. Caught for a touchdown by Marvin Harrison. Beautiful throw and catch. Thank you to Arizona Sports for the highlight. Yeah, will Jacoby Brissett even be there? That brings us to our State 48 Roofing. It's your call question of the day. State 48 Roofing. Keep your roof looking sexy. State48roofing.com, or you can call them at 480-268-4509. Here's the question. What will be the main thing you want to watch as the Cardinals open up their practice? 1, receivers, quarterbacks timing. 2, cornerbacks play. 3, the running backs. 4, the rookies. Just go to Roc and Manuch on X, cast your vote, and also you can go on Instagram as well. So it's obvious that we're going to talk Cardinal football right now as Mr. Drake has arrived. Tyler Drake is here, Arizona Sports. It's always great when we get him on. He has wonderful information. So the first question is, before I even ask you anything, Is it Gardner Minshew and Slovis? Are those the two starting quarterbacks?
Well, right now, those would be the two quarterbacks that don't currently have any contract issues or what you want to call it residing around them. Because, yeah, that's one thing. That's a reminder is Carson Beck still hasn't signed his rookie deal. So I think that's more of a just waiting for Fernando Mendoza and Ty Simpson and some of the other quarterbacks to get their deals done. But still very, very odd and very interesting to start training camp. But yeah, it's gonna be very interesting to see what Jacoby Brissett does, if anything, and if he is there, because like we saw at minicamp, it was a hold in. That's probably what I'm expecting to see when we get out there on Thursday is him not doing much until they get a deal done.
Tyler, could you imagine now? I don't know if a rookie who's unsigned is even allowed to show up. They would never get fined. But I know the hold in as far as Jacoby Brissett being there, and Jimmy and I laughed about what he just said. Can you imagine you have two quarterbacks that don't even practice, so Keaton Slovis and Gardner Minshew will be the guys. Hell, they may have to bring in another arm. I'm not available. Just
come on, Manuch.
To get some throws in for this team. This is absolutely absurd to see this thing unfold right now where they're reporting tomorrow.
Yeah, it is. I figured there would be some kind of resolution with the Jacoby situation, whether they were just decided, hey, we're going to release you, we're going to try to trade you, or we're just going to come to an agreement. Like it's getting to the point now where it's like, hey, for a first-year head coach, you want less as few distractions as possible, and now they kind of just seem like they're stacking a little bit. And then that's even before throwing in, having the Cardinals executive get popped by the gambling for violating the gambling policy. Like, there's just always going to be something going on with this team, it seems like, and some of it they can get out of their own way with, and this Brissett situation is one of those situations.
In your estimation, you cover the team on an everyday basis. Is the Brissett situation based on, well, you may only play 7 or 8 games, and then we're going to go to Carson Beck, so why should we give you a lot more money?
I definitely think that's part of it because, you have to see what you got in Carson Beck, and it can't just be a 4 or 5 game stint at the end of the year. Like, you've got to have 10 or so starts under his belt to really get a good idea if you need to go back to the well in 2027 and go get a quarterback in the first round, or if you can stick with him long term. So in that thinking, if Jacoby Brissett's asking to get paid like Geno Smith money or something around there, wants another $15 million, that's just not going to happen, I don't think, because if you really think about it, he might be playing 5, 6, 7 games before turning it over anyway. So why shell out the extra money when you know in the not so distant future he's not going to be your guy?
It's just you as Jimmy alluded to, our State 48 Rookie, it's your call question of the day, and looking at the receivers and quarterbacks timing, cornerbacks play, the running backs, the rookies, et cetera, et cetera. We can go on and on. There's got to be a storyline, I would think, Tyler, for you just about every day on those 4 or 5 topics just right there.
Oh, yeah, easily. I mean, it's for a defensive line. Who picks up the slack with Calais Campbell gone? When you look at inside linebacker, could Jack Gibbons really challenge Cody Simon for that other starting role next to Mac Wilson? I mean, there's a lot of different ways. I mean, who's going to step up in the outside linebackers room and take some of the pressure off of Josh Sweat so he's not the only guy racking up tackles for losses and pressures and sacks? And, I mean, you look at the cornerback situation, can Denzel Burke hold off everybody and keep that DB2 role next to Will Johnson? I mean, and then you look at the safety situation, can Rabbit beat out Andrew Wingers, the veteran that came over, and really be that next Jalen Thompson next to Buddha? I mean, that's just defensively. I mean, yeah, we can go on and on and on. I mean, with the running back situation, how does the surplus even itself out? Is that either injuries take over? Do they end up having to ship out James Conner or Trey Benson? Do they keep, just Jeremiah Love, Tyler Algier, and maybe a guy like Bam Knight who could be a special teams addition too? Yeah, I could go on and on, guys.
The other thing too, Tyler, you look at this offense on paper, and the big question mark I feel is the offensive line. And I'm just assuming Jacoby Brissett's going to be the quarterback. Even if it's Minshew, you got a pretty decent receiving core. We talked about the running backs with Love and James Conner, but you look at Bourne, you look at McBride, you look at Wilson, you look at Marv Jr., et cetera, et cetera. And this is an exponentially much better passing game if whoever's quarterback can get the protection.
Yeah, exactly. That's the big thing, and that's where you're looking at in the trenches. You're looking at right tackle. Is Elijah Wilkinson really going to be the guy there? You look at right guard. Those are the 2 spots that are up for grabs the most. I mean, Chase Bizantis, the rookie, is very much a threat to take over that spot over Isaiah Adams, who last year was a training camp standout, but was just too inconsistent to really put all your eggs in that basket this year. So it's going to be very telling to see how that all works out. And really, I mean, I think another thing too is how does Tip Ryman fit back into the equation, and how much does that help take away some of the maybe issues or holes along the offensive line, because they've considered him an honorary offensive lineman, and I think he could really help with the offense just moving it forward. I mean, it's not going to be the stat line, but you're going to see a lot of blocks, a lot of open holes because of what this guy can do. So, yeah, if they can just get a little bit more out of that offensive line, I think it could help balance out the offense and really get them to that next step there. But I'm still very concerned about the defense because they just haven't had the additions. I just mentioned Campbell's out the door. So, I mean, that right there, if Walter Nolan can get healthy, that would be huge, but it's still going to be a huge question mark, I think, for a lot of the season, just to see what this unit looks like as a whole.
Tyler Drake is our guest on the Right Toyota guest line. We're talking Cardinal football. They get ready to open up camp. When the camp begins, and I don't like hypotheticals, so I'll just kind of preface like this. If indeed Jacoby's there, but he's a hold-in, if indeed Beck is there, but he is not practicing, and they are going then with Slovis and Minshew, how can they really put in all of the offensive sets, and how do they get ready then to play the Hall of Fame game since they don't have half their quarterback room?
Yeah, I mean, I think you lean on those two guys to try to get you through that game just to get by. I think you lean on Keaton Slovis to take a lot of those reps if you're not having Carson Beck. But, talking to Carson Beck, I had him on the podcast, Cardinals Corner, and I mean, he even told us, like, is not only then, but then later on in a press conference later, like he was preparing for the Hall of Fame game. So I think things are going to get figured out there, but it is something where it's like, yeah, on the field, it's tougher for Mike LaFleur to really plan things when you know that you're expected week 1 starter, and who cares however many starts he has, he's still going to be your guy probably to start. Like, not having him on the field and working through your offense, it even if he's the most savvy vet, it's going to take away a little bit just for the first-year head coach side of things. So I definitely do think it hurts a little bit. I mean, Michael Floor's not going to tell us that because he's still, I feel like he's drinking out of fire hose just from a different standpoint of being that first-year head coach.
Yeah.
But, I mean, if you could just have the lead, that's why I said earlier, like, the fewer distractions, the better for a guy that's just trying to get his bearings in a new role. I mean, he's going from the guy who wasn't even calling plays with the Rams to now taking over head coaching duties, taking over play calling duties again. Like, there's a lot for him to work through. So having a veteran quarterback not having contract issues would probably be very, very beneficial for him right now.
Well, speaking of Mike LaFleur, that's right. Kind of trying to find his land legs as a head coach, calling the plays, and Nathaniel Hackett, who didn't have much success anywhere he's been. At least you got Matthew Schaub as a quarterback coach has had some success. So I'm not real excited about the dynamic duo helping him out from that standpoint. That's got to be a mantra. I think I'd ask Mike LaFleur, Tyler, as far as what is his mantra to try to figure out this offense and get himself and his staff ready to put plays together with this offense.
Yeah, that's a great point because they've got to have some. I mean, last year talking with JG, just not even last year. I mean, the mantra was focus on the details, key technique. I mean, it seems like that's a similar thing. You want to you got to nail down your basics. You don't want to shoot yourself in the foot, but there's got to be a little extra there. I think from the offensive minded standpoint. I mean, he's got guys excited about this scheme, so that's definitely a great point. Like, I'd love to hear kind of what his go-to statements are when it comes to the offense and what his non-negotiables are.
All right, so media guys have the propensity to talk to other media guys. So I'm assuming you've had conversations with guys in LA, guys in San Francisco and Seattle. Are they just like laughing at what the Cardinals are attempting to do or where they are right now? You referenced already the front office issue that they have with gambling, and now you have players that aren't even signed to quarterbacks.
Yeah, I get a lot of messages. I get a lot of text of like, "Oh man, what's going on today?" Kind of like it's another day in Arizona. It seems like. I mean, I had one earlier today asking me about like really the Jacoby contract situation paired with the Carson Beck. Like, what are we doing here? Like, what's the deal? And it's like, yeah, man, it's just another day out here in the desert. We're just waiting for training camp so we can talk about some X's and O's and actually see some things on the field. But right now, let's just get to it. Like that's kind of where I'm at now. I'm pretty jacked to see football back, but we just got to get there at this point.
And just to that point, I don't think Carson Beck, if he's not signed, is allowed to attend practice. He's not a member of the bargaining unit because Jacoby Brissett is got a contract. So he's a member of the bargaining. I don't think that rookies are allowed. If they're not signed, I don't think they're allowed to camp. Now he can come to the hotel. I don't even can't go to the hotel. He can't be a part of the team.
Wow.
So
I do know from the mandatory mini camp standpoint, because he obviously went through everything there, that they signed a waiver to be able to participate.
Yes. Okay,
so,
I got you.
It's a little different, but yeah, I do believe there's some differences there now.
Okay.
Unbelievable, Tyler. That's why we pay you the big bucks to go handle everything.
That's it, man. That's why we call you in the middle of the night, pal.
Hey, TD, what's going on over there or not going on?
Always good when you're on the show
Thanks,
with us. Great information as always, man. You have a great day.
Yeah, no problem, guys. Thanks for having me.
There you go. Tyler Drake, everybody. Once again, he is on the scene when it comes to Cardinal football. And you can follow him on X at TD Drake for Sports. That is T Drake for Sports. Let me rephrase that. T Drake for Sports. Is that kind of like I break for sports? Is that kind of like I've seen those license plates.
T Drake for Sports.
That's a good
phrase,
one.
right?
Yeah, I like that.
No,
Yeah,
he said he was that because when he grew up, he was playing for sports. So he wanted it to be known that I'm Tyler Drake and I played all four sports.
all four sports.
Oh,
Very
I get it.
cool.
So the backstory.
Damn,
being
I
serious, that's
wish
what
I
it
would have
was.
known that earlier. I would have busted him on that one. That would have been good. Like, what were you playing? Swimming?
Nothing wrong with that.
Volleyball?
Nothing wrong with that.
Tetherball?
Probably
Nothing
like
wrong
the
with that.
four,
Hopscotch?
normal sports, maybe basketball, baseball, football, maybe a little
I
hockey.
would have asked him.
The polo player he was.
Yeah.
Cool.
A little cricket.
Yeah, there we go. Tyler's presented today by All City Towing. It's Arizona's largest towing company. Look, if you're stranded someplace or you just need professional transport, here's the best news. They are open 24/7. Call them anytime. Anytime. They will pick up the phone and they will come and help you. And if you're looking for a new job, check them out online, allcitytowing.com, and search careers. That's allcitytowing.com. Search careers. They're looking for drivers and dispatchers right now. Okay, when we come back, it's our Learn, Run, Roll one call. That's all. Roc and Manuch with Jimmy B. ESPN 620.
When it's game time in the Valley, you know what time it is. It's Twin Peaks time. Head to Twin Peaks with 5 Valley locations and massive screens everywhere you look. From basketball, baseball to hockey, fights, and more, there's no better place to catch every play and all the action. Bud Light is a proud partner of sports fans everywhere. Twin Peaks, eats, drinks, scenic views.
Arizona's headquarters for Toyotas is Right Toyota. Hey, Roc, for my friends at Right Toyota in Scottsdale. You will always find the right deal at Right Toyota. Right Toyota has been driving Arizona's home for years with their amazing service, pricing, and great selections. I encourage you to discover the difference at Right Toyota. Make the right choice, Right Toyota, just off the 101 on Frank Lloyd Wright Boulevard, and always online at righttoyota.com. The right price, the right selection. Check out righttoyota.com.
I was in a wreck. I need a check.
I was in a wreck. I need a check.
I was in a wreck. I need a check.
I'm Attorney Kevin Rowe. Getting rear-ended once is bad enough. Don't let the insurance company hit you again with a lowball offer. Call an experienced attorney who knows how to fight and win. Call Lerner on Road today. 977-1900.
Game on Peoria. When it's time to eat big, drink cold, and watch every play, make it Big's American Bar and Grill in the P83 district. Big's is serving up huge portions of your favorites. Burgers, wings, nachos, plus a full bar and TVs everywhere you look. And don't miss happy hour Monday through Thursday, 3 to 6:30 p.m. with $2 off well drinks and $2 off domestic drafts, plus daily specials all week long. Bring your friends, grab a seat on the patio, and settle in for the game. Big's American Bar and Grill, where Peoria comes to play, eat, and watch.
Life can throw a lot your way. For some, that includes first episode psychosis, or FEP. It can feel overwhelming, like hearing or seeing things that aren't there, or feeling disconnected from reality. The good news? FEP can be treated. Recovery can include medication, therapy, and support from peers. There are programs across Arizona with people who understand and are ready to walk with you. It all starts with one click. Visit learnmorefep.org. Sponsored by MacForce, working to build healthier communities.
Forgot something inside or picking up food from the store? Never leave a child in a car. In Arizona, heat stroke can happen in seconds. Temperatures can rise 20 degrees in just 10 minutes, making a vehicle dangerously hot. Heat stroke can happen even in the shade or when it's below 60 degrees outside. Once you park, always remember to stop, look, and lock. Visit heatstroke.az.gov to learn more. This message is sponsored by the Governor's Office of Highway Safety.
The Lerner and Rowe one call, that's all call of the day. If you're looking for a full-service law firm, just make one call, that's all. 602-977-1900. Lerner and Rowe, voted Arizona's best law firm.
No, they're not strategically thinking this is a good time for this, or this is an opportunity to. No, this is out of need. I mean, if they were hoping Michael Soroka was going to be back from the injured list by now and was going to plug in there. Going back a little further, I mean, they were hoping that Corbin Burns was going to be coming back from the injured list right around this time of year. Look, I mean, they viewed these guys as rotation depth and guys that could be part of the solution going forward. And Bratt, to his credit, has thrown pretty well this season down in Reno. I just don't think a lot of these other guys have really emerged the way maybe they were hoping.
That is the Arizona Republic, AZ Central's Nick Piecoro, on the pitching staff right now for the DBacks. Manuch, what time does Drake take the stage tonight?
He will be on that bump, that being one Cole Drake, coming up, the big lefty.
Uh-huh.
And he's the individual that came over for the Merrill Kelly trade from the Texas Rangers.
Yeah.
And he's been struggling down in AAA.
Isn't his ERA like close to 7?
Yeah, down in Reno it's been. But you've got Perkins on the mound for the Athletics. His ERA is 6.87. You got Cole Drake who's taking the mound for the Diamondbacks down in the, I believe, Laz, what was he, like 6.78 or 7.2 or
7.62?
There you go. I knew it was in the sevens.
So you got a couple of guys whose ERAs are about 7-ish, give or take.
Yeah.
If I round it up. So I'm thinking tonight's game, the D-backs 14, the Athletics 12.
All right, so each team's going to score 2 touchdowns.
I got to tell you what, this could be a hitting, the hitting genre over at Chase Field could be alive and well. But what Nick Piecoro was alluding to, I'd asked him the question about, you're taking on the A's, a woeful team that beat them last night. Is this a time to bring some of these young guys up, get their feet wet, or start to get them some work? And he said, no, it's because it's a necessity because of Soroka, Ryan Nelson,
they're hurt,
Zach Gallen,
and
not a time for strategically to see what they do or what they don't do. And so you've had Bratt, who got beat last night, Cabrera, who's doing fair at best. And then you got Drake taking the mound tonight. So that's 3 guys, gentlemen, in the last 3 weeks or 4 weeks that have come up and pitched out of necessity. So be very interesting to see the first 1 to 14 wins this game tonight.
That's our Lerner and Rowe one call. That's all. It's Lerner and Rowe. Just make one call, 602-977-1900. And that brings us then to what's on tap. And it is the game tonight, 6:40 on our sister station, First Pitch, and you can listen on 98.7. What's on tap brought to you by Bud Light, easy to drink, easy to enjoy. It's the official partner of Roc and Manuch with Jimmy B at all 5 Twin Peaks locations. Speaking, Manuch, of Twin Peaks, where are we going to be tomorrow?
We will be at Twin Peaks tomorrow, and Camelback catch up with Suns Raider as Tim Kempton. We have our monthly Ambet segment. D-Back have Sun Devil B-Rider Hogue Rubino. Comedian Frank Caliendo and NAU head coach Brian
Doggies.
All mañana por Twin Peaks y Camelback.
I cannot wait for Frank to come on the show. Caliendo is just spectacular. We are out of here. See you tomorrow.
Take your taste buds on vacation this summer at Sonic. Heat things up with the tropical Heat Sonic Smasher. 2 hand smash patties made with Angus beef, drizzled with jalapeno pineapple glaze. Then cool down with the tropical cream slush with coconut, pineapple, and creamy vanilla soft serve. It's like a tropical vacation, minus the flight delays. Try the tropical duo for a limited time this summer at Sonic. Live free, eat Sonic.
Limited time only at participating Sonic drive-ins.
This summer, there are 250 reasons to join T-Mobile.
Girls trip? Booked. And switching to T-Mobile helped make it